Hey, welcome.
Oh, there we are.
Welcome to the WDWpov live stream show, episode 135.
Did we start at 1 or did we start at 100?
No, we started at 1 and we worked our way up.
Ooh.
So you weren't very amused with my dancing there. I like that song.
You know what? If you want to dance, you can. In fact, if you want to go outside and dance with Jack, you know how I do some reels with him on my page.
Mm-hmm.
You two can dance together if you want to get in it.
We could do that. We could do that. Popping the popcorn. Hello,
Hi.
Katie. Mary's out there. Hi. Mary's out there again. Hello. She's on both. Watch this. She's on Facebook and YouTube. Check it out.
Mary is in 2 places at the same time. Is this like some sort of time, space, you know?
I think she's in some time warp or something. Yeah.
Okay.
And Pat the Puzzle Man is out there watching.
Hi, Pat.
Nice to see you out there as always.
Oh, wait. Excuse Mary, is Nevaeh there?
Ooh, I don't know.
Because
we'll find out.
Okay.
We'll find out. She'll tell us. But 135. 135. I know. And I don't know if there's any significance to that. Like it's 135. Does that have any meaning? You know, it's like odd numbers, 135.
You know, when we get to 1357, then we'll talk about it.
It'll be a long.
You know, I was driving the car last week, and the odometer was 1616. When I looked down, it was 16, 16, 17. I had just missed 16, 16, 16.
Yeah.
Which means we have a lot of miles on our car.
We do. It's 161,000.
Yeah.
Plus miles now.
And Mary's still at work. And she can't decide where to be.
This isn't a payroll night. I didn't think this was a payroll night.
She said on Mondays she's at work.
Yeah, but I thought it was like every other Monday was a payroll.
Oh, wait, you keep track of her schedule? Yes. He doesn't know where I'm at.
That's a good one there, Pat. Yeah, 135 equals 9. 1 plus 3 plus 5.
Okay.
There you go. So that's another way to look at it. Chris, hi. How are you doing there? It is payroll tonight. Wow. Okay, so that means next week maybe we could have Steve on. You know, maybe he could jump on the show for a while. So we'll see what happens.
And you're still sick.
Oh. Mary. I haven't done that for a while. Mary.
There's a reason.
My Jimmy Stewart. I've been a little rusty on my Jimmy Stewart lately. Mary.
So really, I need to say this. I need a haircut really bad. And I'm going tomorrow. So.
Oh my. So welcome to the WDWpov live stream show. Again, episode 135. Tonight is our special annual show. We're changing it up a little bit this year, though.
We are getting crazy.
Crazy.
Mary says she'll be home packing next week. Yippee.
Ooh.
Packing for...
I'm assuming a Disney trip. Not 100% sure, but I would imagine it would be a Disney trip.
That's nice. Super slick and smooth.
Super sleek.
Sleek
and smooth. It does actually. It looks
better on screen.
It looks better on screen than it does in person. I'm sorry.
You know, it is super super just dragging down. It's you know, it's at the length where it won't hold a curl and
jealous. Leaving for
without the family.
Without the family.
Does Nevaeh know this?
Oh.
You know, I don't know that we could get away with that with Jack.
Well, we did the one time.
It was work.
It was a work
and
related trip.
I did a lot of work.
Yes. Stop talking. Okay, I'll stop talking, Mary.
Was I supposed to stop talking or was I supposed to keep talking? Okay.
I think it gets boring if I stop talking.
I can talk. Okay, so let's get into the show.
Yeah, so we are changing it up this year a little bit. We are going to still tell the basic story of what happened April 30th.
Are you going to work on not being so wordy?
I will.
Okay.
April 30th,
really wordy.
2015 is the day I died.
She can't miss more school. If she wants to come, she can't miss school.
Okay. Yeah. So
The stop talking was about Patty's hair.
Okay. I can't, yeah, I was going to say, if I stop talking, then there's not really much of a show.
Okay.
But yes, so April 30th, 2015, 7 years ago, almost to the day. It would have been this past Saturday. I'll give the quick run through. Should I do this? You want me to do it through this? I don't know.
Okay, so first,
this is what we're. Well, I mean, it is what we're talking about.
Well, yes, but first we are going to talk about what happened.
Okay.
During the course of the show, we are going to talk about, challenge you to think about what you would do. What is your response in certain situations, and how? Because I view this as, yes, I had this experience and I can share this experience with you. But if I don't challenge you to think about your life and what you would do and how you would prepare, because we're all not prepare for a cardiac arrest, because you can't prepare for that, but how you prepare yourself for things that happen that, and I'll give a quick example. Like, even to this day, if I get an unexpected bill, my first response to that unexpected bill is to panic.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something I'm going to be working on. Our brains go toward what we always do. And so that's an area I'm working on. Not panicking about unexpected bills, because, right. God saved your life. And
yeah. I mean, I think he had that covered. He can cover some other things. But we're getting a letter in the mail that wasn't even a legitimate letter. It was a
scam.
A scam letter that she got, and she was all panicked because it looked like the government or somebody's coming after us. And,
yeah, but you got it.
Yeah.
And so it was yours.
But you opened it, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she
opened my mail. Yeah.
Was it a business one? I don't know.
I don't know. But it was some kind of scam. I mean, it looked legit. It looked like a legit thing. And she's panicking, and I'm like, this isn't real.
I wasn't panicking. It's not like I was upset.
Panic is, I think, a better description. Okay. Upset. Yeah. Okay.
So challenge you to think about how you would respond, and then we're going to talk a little bit about where we're at today and some of the things that we've had to deal with, because believe it or not, there's aftermath of things.
There is. So I'm going to go through some of the basics. I'll run through the basic story. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounds great.
And like she said, but we're going to sort of challenge you guys along the way to maybe put yourself in the same situation and think about what you would do,
or the situation you're going through now,
or
and how do you respond? How do you deal with things?
Right. So again,
and maybe you really don't want to think that deeply.
Okay, so I got to go into my fun mode, because otherwise I'll lose it if I don't go into fun mode here. So anyway, starting way back, I was probably about 6 years old at the time. This is one of my older brothers. This is another one of my older brothers. This was my mom. This was my dad. Okay. We were at NASA. First time I'd ever been there. Probably 1967.
And Disney wasn't there at the time.
Disney was not there at the time. So this was like a big deal. So here we are. I took this picture as like a 5 or 6 year old. I took this picture, and I was very proud of that picture. We still have it to this day, and it's always one of my favorite pictures. This was on that same trip, and this is me sitting on my dad's lap on some unknown pier somewhere in Florida. Again,
and if anyone recognizes this, if you can let us know, because we'd love to know where it was taken.
Right. I've always wondered. I always look at it and I'm like, man, where was that? And there's a little bit of a zoomed in. Look at that smile. Isn't that a nice? Look at that smile on that kid. What a dork.
Stop it! Don't say bad things about yourself.
Anyway, so this was me with my dad, and unfortunately, this is also, to my knowledge, the last picture I ever had with my dad. He passed away at a very young age, at age 59. In my opinion, that's way too young.
But he had a very young child at
He
age
did.
59.
He did. He had a very young child at age 59. So he, he was in his 50s when I was born.
I bet you were surprised.
I think I was a surprise.
Your mother told us that.
I don't think I was planned. Yeah. But, aren't the best things in life surprises? Aren't they? Aren't they? Come on.
If you're talking about a surprise cruise or a surprise new car, yeah, those are great.
Those are great. Those are great.
But even surprise children are great too.
But keep this picture in mind. It will come back somewhat later. So if you want to do that, you can do that while I'm doing this there. Yeah. Okay. So
go ahead.
Okay. So again, like I said, this was the last time I know of that I had a picture with my dad. He had passed away about a year later, 1969. I was 7 years old.
And ironically, you were supposed to be leaving.
We were about to. He was planning a trip. Now he had a heart attack.
And he had bypass surgery. Which back in 1969 was
not nearly what it's like these days.
Yeah.
So he was planning a trip. He was planning to take the family down to Florida for another trip later, either that year or the next year.
Well, no, I think you weren't.
It was pretty
supposed
close.
To leave. I thought.
I think some of my siblings said that. I didn't at the time. I
didn't
know
that.
I didn't know how close we were to going again. But yes, we were apparently very close to going on another trip to Florida. So we're going to flash. Nothing else happened to me from that time until 2015. Everything between that is unimportant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, we got married, didn't we?
Yeah, and we had some kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had what? How many?
5.
5?
Yeah, we had 5 kids.
We had 5 kids.
In April 2015, we had 5 kids. We had
but we did not have the WDWpov live stream show.
We did not.
So flash forward to April of 2015. This was a crazy
We did
month.
a lot we did too much that month.
Oh my goodness. It was, and I only put a few things here.
Okay.
We had, and we still do, we have a 4-H club, but back then it was much, much bigger. We did these cake auctions, which is what was going on here. This was my daughter.
Your daughter.
Our daughter.
I know, I say that.
And
I
you
do
do
that too. And
We
you know
both
what?
do that.
And then people think like,
that must be not one of his kids. That's one of her. That's not hers.
I don't know if you noticed. I corrected myself yesterday.
I did notice that.
Yes.
I did notice that. Yeah. That was
at church.
We were speaking in front of our church.
We weren't supposed to. It was very last minute.
It was somewhat impromptu.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So, and the other picture is we did a Disney at home party.
Yeah. Well, and you guys were doing it, and you did a Disney bounding video. You remember that?
Yeah, we never posted
I've never edited and posted that. I should throw that over to Marcus.
You can't.
I'll throw that over to Marcus.
It was pretty bad.
No, actually, I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh, really?
It was.
Okay.
You guys did a great job together.
Okay.
Melissa
and I do.
You did. And so they were Disney bounding. They were doing a video on what Disney bounding means. So it was pretty cool.
Melissa is Piglet, and I am Snow White in that picture.
Why would you call your daughter a piglet?
That's who she was Disney bounding
I
us.
know, I'm joking.
Okay.
That's
for those who don't know Disney bounding, I'm going to say anyway. Disney bounding is dressing in the essence of a character, not necessarily like the character, but street clothes in the essence of a character.
Right. Exactly.
So, and then we had a granddaughter.
I had granddaughter number 2. That was well, and the day before we had what was it? It was some kind of ceremony for one of my nieces. We had to go to. It was another party. We were like all over the place.
Yeah, it was a busy month.
It was a very busy month.
It still is.
And she's born that day in the morning.
We go see her.
And
then we left. We were packed.
And we were packed and ready to drive to Florida for this.
I did a NASA social. And a NASA social is a behind the scenes look. I toured the facility and witnessed a rocket launch.
Yep.
While they had fun without me.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had to do something while you were.
I know.
No, I would have, and again, I would have loved to have.
You can apply.
Done that.
If they have them, they started up again.
They did start them up just recently, after.
Yeah, maybe you could apply and go.
They stopped the last couple of years. They were doing.
You would be so much better at it than I was. No, really, because you would have questions to ask that I would never think to ask.
So yeah, we're just
they're having fun at the beach while I'm seeing rockets. SpaceX, both the NASA socials I did were SpaceX ones.
Yeah, this one actually I think was CRS6.
See, he knows these things. I don't, and I was there.
It was the sixth mission for SpaceX. So this was really this was early on.
Hi, Steve.
This was early on. So I mean,
you
were still. I mean, you still get that feeling every time you watch a rocket launch. Where like, is this thing going to blow up? Is it going to? But this,
or is it going to go off?
Is
the weather going to change? Is there some reason they're going to have to stop it?
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to watch a rocket launch, even from the public viewing area, I'd advise to do it. We have been very blessed in the fact that all of our kids have seen space shuttle launches, and we saw the last space shuttle launch.
Yes, we did.
And
we saw a nighttime launch.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And we've seen a couple SpaceX launches.
Exactly.
So
yeah, we're just me, Marcus, and Jack. No, I didn't.
Okay, go.
We're just.
Okay, go.
We're just basically having some fun without Mom while she's at the. Now, this is where she is. Okay, so she's. I'm gonna zoom in on you here real quick. Here she is.
You don't need to zoom in.
There she is at the bottom left there.
You are taking way too long.
Okay, I am taking too long. But she was there, and the rocket's right behind her. I mean, it's like right.
It was right there. We went to the launch site the day before.
Right there.
That's not where we saw it from, but we got to see it up close and personal.
Yes, you did. Okay. And Orange Cone, nice to see you.
Okay. Come on, speed it up. I got to move you along.
I'm moving. She's trying to keep me moving. There she is. And she was taking pictures with my nice 35mm camera, and she's getting some nice shots of the rocket right up close there and all that good stuff. Crazy month.
We get home. Oh,
there's a rocket launch. There's a rocket launch. Okay. There it is again. Nice picture.
Okay.
Now,
this is not the pier. Because we don't know where it is.
No, this is not the pier.
This is
a pier. But if you look in the background very carefully,
Marcus and Jack needed haircuts really bad. And we were so busy.
We couldn't get haircuts. But right behind me there, you see this little speck, this little square speck. That is the vehicle assembly building at NASA. And the launch took place right in around here. So we had a decent view. We actually had a pretty good view from where we were. We were watching a launch. Afterwards, we're watching dolphins. We're swimming around here in the ocean. It was really pretty cool. But I wanted to...
He's always about recreating pictures. Yeah. Always. Everywhere we go. We took this picture when we were in New York City 15, 20 years ago. Let's recreate it.
Yeah, so I wanted to recreate.
He's really big on that. I don't appreciate it as much as he does.
I wanted to recreate.
Why are you laughing about that? That's the truth. I don't appreciate it.
You don't appreciate it.
I mean, in retrospect, it's pretty cool, but at the moment, and even later, and these are things I'm learning about myself, and I'm 57 and I'm just learning this. Even later, when, after we leave an event, I think, I wish I would have gotten this picture and I wish I would have done this. But in the moment, I don't do those things.
Right. See, I do.
Well, and part of it is in the moment, you know, I am more of an introvert. And so in the moment, I'm pretty much in survival mode. I'm worried about Jack most of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just surviving all the people and you didn't know that about me, huh?
No, I know a little bit about you.
Oh, okay.
Just a teeny bit.
Okay.
Just a teeny bit. So yeah, so this was my attempt at recreating this. Probably not a great idea, considering that was the last picture I had with my dad.
Well, go on. I mean, what? Okay. So, but you can appreciate that picture today.
I can. So this was, to me, it was just, it was something.
Mary feels the same.
Yeah. So, double bypass in 2008.
Okay, keep going.
Died twice. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay, so he did not have the opportunity to have a bypass, but we'll get into that. So go on.
Okay, so that was my comparison. We get back. It's now just about another week and a half later.
April 30th,
2015. I am out in the morning borrowing a pickup truck, driving about an hour to pick up 3 little pigs for our kids for the Canfield Fair.
So he brings the pigs.
We haul them back up here. We get them unloaded. We throw them into the pig pen that we have made up for them.
And I am packing for the Disney Social Media Mom celebration.
Right.
They no longer have those celebrations, but I got invited, and Jeff and the kids are going with us, and they sent us this nice American Tourister luggage piece. Very, very nice.
Very big deal. Very big deal.
So the luggage came, and I am packing, and Jeff comes home from getting the pigs and says he is going to go to a church, the first church softball practice, because for the second and third one, he's going to be out of town. So he really should make it to the first one.
I should make it to that first
and
practice.
I am mad.
She
Pigs
was
in a minivan.
livid. No, I have though.
Oh,
Mary,
you borrowed the truck.
I borrowed a pickup truck on this one, but I have actually hauled in a dog cage type thing, pigs that maybe are like 30, 40 pounds.
Yes. And
in the van. Yeah.
And miraculously, he cleans the van pretty, lays down stuff and cleans it pretty good.
I do.
That I don't even notice it. And like, I'm big on smells. And so if I don't notice a pig smell in my van, it's probably, he's done a really good job. So I'm mad.
Yeah, she's not mad.
I am mad. Now, this is one of those, what would you say? We're leaving in a couple days. We're actually leaving. This is April 30th. I think we were supposed to leave May 3rd, in the evening of May 3rd or May. Yeah, I think May 3rd we were leaving. So we're leaving in a few days. It's been chaotic. Our
April 2015 was just one thing after another, but all fun. I mean, it was all fun stuff. It was,
all good stuff. Yes.
It was great. I mean,
so
it was one of the best months of my life.
I'm mad.
She's mad. I go to the practice.
Wait, no. I'm mad.
Uh-huh.
So I'm asking the wives out there, you're mad at your husband. He's leaving. He's walking out the door. Do you kiss him? You're mad at him. Do you kiss him? I didn't.
I know.
I didn't. In addition to that, not only did I not kiss him, but I didn't even know where he practiced softball.
I mean, it wasn't.
It was the first practice.
But it wasn't at our church. It was at another church, about 30 minutes away from where we live.
Okay, Mary said I would say stay home and help me, darn it. He was not listening. He was not listening to anything I said.
I was not. I had to be at this practice. Because it was our first one.
And that's what he had to do. It didn't matter how I felt about it, but that's what you had to
And
do.
I knew I would get the car or the van packed up in time, and everything would be great. And
you, he would get the van packed
and
up
I get
in time.
the bags just lined up
But no,
perfectly.
that's after I put everything in the bags, wash all the clothes and put everything in the bags and put things in a cooler. And
that's true.
And
That's
I
true.
do all of that. And
no kiss, probably no words of goodbye either.
okay, so that's truthful. I think it
was more like I got the
I
evil
probably yelled.
eye. I got the evil
I probably
eye, and I probably got yelled at.
Yeah,
from
I
what
probably
I
did. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean that's we're being brutally honest here.
We are.
This is what I did.
But this is life.
That was my reaction.
This is real life. We're not sugarcoating anything here.
Oh, just wait until we don't sugarcoat later.
Oh man! So with hindsight 2020, praise God, he was exactly where he needed to be.
And yes,
exactly,
yes.
Kelly, exactly, yeah.
Now the thing is, I think you've learned a little better. Like there was no discussion about you. You said in the morning there was a practice. I said I think you should miss it. We had never had a discussion about it.
In my mind, that meant, yeah, you could probably go.
No, but there was really no discussion about it. There was no, let's sit down and discuss our week and what we have going on and what's doable and what isn't.
I discussed it in my head and I said, yeah, I should probably be able to go.
So in retrospect, is that the best way to deal with things with your wife?
Probably not.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Kelly says she would have been mad too.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I go to practice. I drive about 30 minutes. I get out to this baseball field out at this church.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We can smile about it now.
But the thing is, don't think for a moment that I haven't replayed that over in my head over and over and over again. Like, what if that was the last time I saw you?
Yeah.
What if? Now you would think, being a wise woman, that situation would never happen again.
Yeah.
But I've gotten mad at you, and we've had fights since then.
Oh, my.
Right?
Yes, we have.
Yes.
We generally have had some fights once in a great while.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Not very often.
Not like we used to. Well, really? Do you?
No. I think I've mellowed out a bit. You've mellowed out a bit. Okay, I better stop. So
no, but I that has played through my head. Like, what if that was the last moment?
Yeah, I know, and I still just to throw this out there, just
yeah,
Kelly, just to.
Mary has a way with words,
yes,
doesn't
Mary,
she?
I will stop talking. No, but seriously, this is even now, and I still, to this day, I mean, even after something like what we're talking about happened in our lives, I still, to this day, on occasion, will leave the house, and I'll leave and I'll say, I didn't leave in a good. I should have given one kiss, one I love you. Even with Jack in the morning, if I'm leaving somewhere for a job somewhere, I try before I leave, before I walk out. Excuse me, before I walk out the door, I'll try to make sure I say something to him before I leave. So just think about that in your own lives. Just anytime you're leaving a loved one, even somebody you don't like, maybe. No, just think about, leave that person, go off and do what you're doing, but try to leave in a way that you would say, if that's the last time I ever saw that person, at least I left on an term, up terms or whatever, however you want to put it. I don't know. I'm not wording it right, but you know what.
Okay, so Orange Cone Vlog said, now is it 17 years? Is that how long they've been married? And they've never had an argument?
He has mentioned that before.
Okay, so
on some other show, on some previous shows.
Here's my question for you.
It's because he's been to Disney so much. He's been there like 500-600 times.
Here's my question. Did your parents model good communication skills? I mean, the thing is, you didn't have that in your home.
No, because my dad died at a very young age, so I did not have that.
I did not have that in my home.
Right.
So now we do tell each other every day that we love each other.
I mean, it's rare. It's rare that I don't walk out or whatever without saying a nice goodbye.
And the other thing is, and I think
he says his parents argued all the time.
Oh, so maybe you determined,
and that's good that you and that's, you broke the cycle.
Yeah.
And that's to be commended. That is very good.
No, I mean, it wasn't like the police ever needed to be called on our arguments, or he's never pulled in the drive and all of your belongings were on the front. We're not talking those type of arguments. We're talking mean words, terse, we're short with each other.
Strong disagreement.
Yes. But the other thing is, I feel like for a long period of time, things were really good between us. We got married, they were bad. We had a lot of adjusting to do. And then things were really good for a long period. And then Jack came along. And that's a whole nother episode. I was working with you in the business, and then we had him, and I pulled away from the business, and we did not talk about autism.
Right. We pretty much just tried to ignore or push it down, or not ignore, but
I would say you ignored
more than you did.
Yeah. And that is very common. And so there were a lot of feelings.
That's good. I like that.
There were a lot of emotion.
Yes, Mary, that is a different story.
And feelings about that. And there were, it was a strain on our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So we were pretty much just coexisting for a period of time.
Right. Right. Yeah. We were just sort of going through the motions of just day by day, just trying. And we were in survival mode. I mean, that's the best way to put it. We were in survival mode. That is true.
And, so that affected the business, which affected, I'm sure, your stress level and your health. And it was a constant, they do say that when you're raising a special needs child, it is, like PTSD,
right?
Your lack of sleep, just a constant state of stress in. So that's what we were dealing with.
Yeah, Orange Cone said that he controls his emotions; they don't control
that, and that's fantastic. And
medicine free. That's great.
That's fantastic.
That is great. Yeah, we try to do as much as possible without
holistic.
Oils and different natural
supplements and
things like that.
Healthy eating and
here I am talking about having a cardiac arrest. Anyway.
Okay. So
no, that was before. I mean, now I'm more. Anyway. Okay. So I go to the baseball field.
That I don't know where it's at.
And she doesn't know where it's at. It's about 6 o'clock. I think we're doing practice. I'm at second base. I'm taking grounders, some, pop-ups and all that kind of stuff. Just fielding.
Now, at this point, I'm at home. I know I'm home for the evening, even though it's 6 o'clock. I take off. Can I say the word bra? Am I allowed to say bra? If I'm home for the evening, I'm taking off my bra. I put on my robe.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
So she's braless apparently while I'm out at my church softball practice. Second base, taking grounders, pop-ups, all that good stuff. couple of guys start taking their turns for batting practice. And then it was my turn. I think I was like the third one up for the night. And I go up to bat. Chick-fil-A every Saturday. You know it, Steve. Yeah, the WDW pre-show meeting with Marcus. That's good. You know what, Steve? It's funny because especially during COVID when you weren't allowed to eat in a restaurant. They started opening the restaurant up the last month or so, a couple months. And so we would go do our weekly grocery shopping. We would go to Chick-fil-A and we'd eat in the car, in the van. So we'd, get our food, we'd park the van, we'd start eating. And they weren't technically WDWpov, show meetings or anything like that. But we would have these conversations where
you should have filmed.
Where we're like, after we're done talking, we're like, man, we should have just live streamed this. This was like gold. We're just like, it's gone. We can't get it back.
Now, I do have to say that you usually don't eat any other fast food.
No, that's really the only place I eat at.
And it's not every Saturday.
Pretty close.
You didn't go this Saturday.
No.
You didn't go I think 3 Saturdays ago.
Yeah. So it's frequent, but not every single Saturday. So.
And you don't drink the pop soda.
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope.
So you have changed.
I have. Yeah. I have changed a lot of eating habits. So I'm up the bat. I'm hitting some nice line drives because I've told people this all the time. I'm not a power hitter. I'm, back then fairly skinny, a little heavier than I was back then, but don't eat that fast food. So as I'm taking my swats at the ball, and this is slow pitch. It's just, slow pitch softball. The youth pastor, Pastor Sean, I remember him. He tosses me this pitch. It's coming a little bit inside. It's not going to hit me or anything, but I just remember I was going to do a little step back, just a half step back, and I hadn't hit the right field yet. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to target right field, and I'm going to hit this on the right field. And that's the last thing I remembered. The guys told me what I actually did was I swung, did a 360 degree. I should have asked if I actually hit it. But I did a 300.
I don't even know if anyone even knows.
I don't think they would have cared to remember. I did this 360 degree pirouette with the bat and then plopped down to the ground, flat on the ground, laying there home plate.
I feel like I'm all crookedy.
You're all crookedy.
I am crookedy. Keep going. No, go. Just go.
Kelly wants to know, did I feel anything different before it happened? I'm for maybe a split second as the pitch was coming in. I felt faint. It was very quick though. I mean, not more than a second or two. I did feel faint. I've never fainted in my life. So, but it felt like I was just going to faint. And Kelly's asking, do I remember not feeling good at all that day? No. I mean, all day. I mean, I was doing strenuous work, moving pigs, driving an hour to and back from this place, doing a lot of running that day. I think I'd also run to the bank. And then I went to practice and didn't feel bad at all. In fact, I felt pretty darn good. So, not a lot of warning on this one. So I'd take my swing, I smacked down onto the ground and decided, heartbeat's overrated. We'll just let.
You didn't decide anything.
We'll just let that heart stop beating for now and
you didn't decide anything.
Take a little nap. So I decided, I didn't decide anything. I dropped dead. Laid on the ground. The guys thought I was joking. I'm a practical joker every now and then.
Do you want me to take over from here?
Well, let me.
Well, no, because I can incorporate that into, because he explained everything that happened.
Who explained?
Sean, when he called.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead. Take it over. Take it from here.
So I'm at home in my robe, and the phone rings, and I saw the caller ID, and I knew this was not good. If the caller ID shows someone from the softball team, I'm worried.
Because why wouldn't I be calling?
And so I answer the phone, and he says, "This is Pastor Sean. I really don't want to be making this call." And I can tell you where I was standing, what I had on.
Not your bra. According to you. That's according to you.
And I said, okay. And I'm bracing myself for the worst. And he started to say that, Jeff was up at bat. And he explains, we were doing batting practice. I think he even said, Jeff was out doing fielding practice, and then it was his turn for batting
he
practice.
He actually explained all that
yes.
to you.
And he says, he takes some swings, and then I pitched a bad pitch. And
did he actually say?
Yes, he said I pitched a bad pitch. He probably shouldn't have even swung at it, but he went to swing at it, and then he's on the ground. And he said, and we thought that he was just goofing off. And I remember asking him, did he get hit by the ball?
But it's softball. That's why I said
when
I explain it.
I don't know that.
I know, but I try to explain that because people think, oh, maybe he got hit and that's what happened.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even if I got hit, I could have got hit in the head with it and it wouldn't have knocked me out. No, I mean, you're softball, you're lobbing the ball.
I mean, if he hits you in certain tender areas.
After the ball's hit, that might hurt. But pitching it in.
If he's pitching it in and that hits you in some sensitive areas, you might drop to the ground.
Sure, maybe there.
Okay. That's not what happened.
No.
So he says to me that he says, two guys on the team started CPR. One's doing chest compressions, one's doing breathing. Now, I think it's important to note, and we forget this all the time, both of these guys have said they learned CPR on dummies. They never used it. It was 5 years prior, and they never used, and you're going to say it.
I got to say it.
Go ahead, say it.
They still had never used CPR on anything but a dummy, because they were using it on me.
But they did not know as they were doing it. They're like, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. And
even if you don't, I mean, there's not much more you can do. I mean, seriously, if a person's laying dead and you're not sure, your CPR training, do it anyway. I mean, really, how much worse are you going to make things?
Yeah.
Really?
So,
and I actually did have CPR training myself.
It didn't come in handy.
I couldn't use it at all that day. But no,
you need help.
But you do want, seriously, no, Orange, Ross said, yeah, I mean, learn CPR. Do it. Yeah. Anyway.
So he said, these two guys are doing CPR. And so what is your next response? What questions are you asking? This is what I'm asking, what you would say, what you would do. You're standing there on the phone. What do you say? I say, who's praying? Now, I say this in all honesty. This was not something that, this is years of me praying for stupid things, praying because I lose my car keys, praying because what else goofy things did I pray about?
Parking spots. Did you say parking spots?
Parking spots, especially if it was raining.
Give me a decent spot. It's raining outside. Can please, give me a.
Yeah. No.
I know.
So now here's the thing. I said, who's praying? And he said, we all are, but it's been over 12 minutes and he's gone. And my next statement, I know this is the Holy Spirit saying this because my natural, plus I felt like I somehow was prepared for this. I said, keep praying, God raises the dead. And I believe that. I believed it then. I believed it before then.
And in the meantime, this is basically what I'm seeing. There you go.
That's what he's seeing.
There you go.
Okay. You don't know that's what you were seeing. You weren't really seeing that.
Well, there were some other things. You can ask that later.
Okay.
But yes, orange cone. Yeah, saving a life, cracking a rib, and that was one of the things the guys told me afterwards. They said, "Man, your body was making all kind of weird noises and cracking and breaking noises."
But so the youth pastor says he's blue, he's purple, he's there's no sign of life, and it's over 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And
no pulse, no heartbeat,
no
breathing.
So he's on the phone with me for 2-3 minutes, and I hand the phone off to my daughter because I know I need to go somewhere. I still don't know where he practices softball, and I don't know where I need to go, but I know I need to go somewhere. So I go to put some clothes on, and then I'm looking. It's one of those like comedy skits. I'm holding my socks in my hand and I'm saying to
Mary says she doesn't think that would have been her response to calmly say
no. And I
keep praying.
I do say that was God. But I also, I had been in Bible studies where we talked about miracles. I knew God performed miracles. I knew that from family members. I have a sister who, when she was 3, the doctor said she had hours to live. I had a brother who was shot when I was 7, and
she's had a fun childhood.
But I also had people. Every grandparent had died by the time I was 13. I mean, I had been through a lot of loss, but I saw God perform miracles. I knew that He did that, and so I did. I kind of feel like.
Which reminds me, I forgot all about that.
What?
Over on YouTube, I'm going to have to be careful here because I don't want to have a reverb happen here. So bear with me for a second, as it might pop up for a brief moment and reverb on me.
Why are we doing this? I know you've really confused me. I could keep talking.
Go ahead, keep talking.
So,
I put a question out there. Have you ever witnessed a miracle?
Oh,
is what I put out there on YouTube.
And sometimes there are miracles that are really small. Like we have friends who've told us they were on their honeymoon and they were in a blizzard and at the top of a mountain and coming down the mountain, and they were let out of the mountain by a stranger who disappeared.
That's weird.
You've never heard that story?
I don't think so. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it didn't.
Oh, it didn't. You didn't create the poll.
I did, but I did it before the show started.
So why don't you try?
I'll do it right now.
Okay, so
I'm putting a question out there on our YouTube channel. Have you ever witnessed?
Why are you talking out loud? Okay.
So they know what I'm typing. So they know what to look for.
So
have you ever witnessed a miracle?
I go to get ready. Melissa's on the phone, and he goes through the story with her. And by the time she got off the phone, she knew where to go. And she said, they put him in the ambulance. He's alive. Now, we do not know at this point. We're getting in the car and driving, and we do not know. Did he have a stroke? Did he just, well, obviously he didn't just pass out, but, was it a heart attack? I didn't know anything at this point. We didn't know, I'm thinking, okay, if he had a stroke, Can he talk? Can he walk? What are we going to find when we get to the hospital? And yes, can we say trauma?
Yes.
I've spent a lot of time dealing with.
You have had a bit of trauma.
No, but it was like doing healing from trauma. So
yeah, I put the poll there now, so it should be there.
So
I don't know. I put it there before the show, Mary, and I thought it would have stayed there, but apparently, as soon as it started the live, it like wiped it out, and you can't put the poll on until after you start running live.
So I call
live and learn. Live and learn.
At this point, Melissa's living at home with us, Marcus and Douglas, and Jack. Marcus and Jack.
I think people know his real name too. Yeah.
And we get in the car, and I call Jeffrey and David. Now, mind you, David's wife had a baby
like a week or a
couple weeks earlier.
Yeah.
And I tell them what's going on and where we're going. And so here's my question for you. You call the people you need to call. Who do you call next? I'm asking that question. Who would you call next?
Who would I call next?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Who would I call? So after obviously calling immediate family or kids and stuff like that, who would I call next? I'd say like right now at this point in my life, probably Perry.
Okay. So
probably Perry.
You're saying our pastor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my next call is I called two friends that I knew would pray for a miracle. And I know this about them because we've talked about how we pray and what we believe, how we believe God operates. And, he says to pray.
He does. He does. Do you want me to put this up?
Yeah.
Would you like me to put this up?
Yes.
I put this up. I didn't know if you'd want it or not.
No, you do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And this was the second Bible verse. As an adult, I did not memorize any Bible verses as a child. This was the second Bible verse as an adult that I memorized.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I mean, it's interesting. Cool.
Okay.
And again, I don't believe in coincidences. I'm just letting you know. But yeah, Mary, if Kelly's saying, yeah, she called friends who do prayer chains and that. But yeah, she called, like she said, specific people that she knew prayed, that believed in miracles, and for you, and again, I don't want to slough over this, just the fact that I have a wife.
You do have a wife.
I do have a wife. That I have a wife that in that situation tells the youth pastor to have everybody keep praying God raises the dead.
That was years of practice.
It was years of practice.
It was years of practice praying.
And
like I said, I get a bill in the mail and I still panic if it's an unexpected bill. So I don't have this all figured out. But in that moment, I guess I had something figured out. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm just laughing.
Okay,
I'm just laughing at you.
We get to the hospital.
Because, again, none of us have it all figured out. We don't.
No.
We're all imperfect.
And then I called
we
family.
all fall short.
I called other family, and I called some of your family, and we get to the hospital, and in the emergency room, they see the woman behind the desk. She says, "You're not there yet."
Yeah, they got there before me.
Yeah,
but I'll fill you in on what happened on the way. I know Steve's waiting to hear about the drill. No, he's waiting.
He loves that.
He's like on the edge of his seat waiting to hear about the drill.
And so they say to the woman there looks, and she sees Marcus and Douglas. And
well, how old were they at this time?
7 years ago. Jack was 10.
10 and 12.
And he looked young. He's always been a young.
He looked really young back then.
And,
10 and 12.
And then David and Jeffrey come in, and they have little kids with them. And she said, "Let me get you guys a private room." And she puts us in a private room. And the first thing that Jeffrey did, Jeffrey being the oldest son.
Hey, Stan, glad you made it.
Jeffrey being the oldest son.
Are we almost on? Oh my goodness, we're already in.
No, it's 8:55.
I know, but we're almost an hour in already, and we're like.
So Jeffrey being the old.
Real quick. I just want to again thank you, Stan, and the Grand Circle Tour crew they actually shifted their show from their normal 9 o'clock
to 7
o'clock before our show. So they went from 7 to 8 so that we could go from 8 till whenever. I mean, normally
we're not going to 8 to whenever.
We're going till we're going to party all night, baby. Partying all night. But again, thank you guys for accommodating that. And it's, Mary even said, it's nice to see, different groups, like ours and theirs playing nice, being nice to each other.
Oh, we are? Oh, okay.
It's life's too short, gang.
Yeah,
life's too short to have any kind of
to fight over
stupid things. Yeah. But also, life's too short not to try to be nice to each other, to try and make a difference, and just make the world a little bit of a better place.
Be kind to one another.
Be kind to one another.
There's a Bible verse, something about that.
I think I've heard that somewhere. Yeah. But again, thank you very much, guys. Very, very much appreciated. And,
So,
yeah.
The first thing our oldest son did was we all held hands and he prayed. And I like little things like that. Were very touching, and the thing.
I wasn't there.
I know you weren't there.
I couldn't help with that.
But I mean, we all were sitting there, not knowing your condition.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't know at this point. I mean, I hadn't even made it to the emergency room yet. I was still in an ambulance, being.
So why don't you start with what you saw while you were gone?
Mary likes to see people, her friends getting along.
What did you see while you were gone? Or aren't you ready to share that?
It is nice to be nice. Very nice to be nice. Okay, so I guess we go back to where I was at this point, which was laying on the ground in a baseball field in Struthers, Ohio.
So what did you see?
I'm still not sure. Every now and then, first off, let me just say this. It was one of the most peaceful moments in my life, even though at the time I was dead. If you want to look at it that way, I guess it was a peaceful life moment. And I almost feel like there was this. I still get glimpses once in a great while. It doesn't happen a lot. But I had this view, and it looked like just like almost like a portal of stars going on infinitely. And for a very, very, very mini, micro, nano, whatever, probably the smallest amount of time, and I don't even know that time even meant anything at this point, but for the littlest of time, I felt like I knew or understood how everything just works, how everything worked, how the universe worked. Everything made sense. If I could have written it down at the time, I'd be a rich man right now because I would have understood. I mean, I could have explained everything, and it all made sense. But then I started to come
I
back.
wonder if there's a way to get those memories. Remember, we watched Fringe.
Oh my goodness, Fringe.
I don't think we should go that far.
Well, you only go there. Yeah, Fringe is an interesting show. Yeah. So but there was this split second of time where it felt like, first off, very peaceful. Yeah, everything made sense. And then that's probably about the time they zapped me with the, it was one of those portable AED units. Yeah.
Which the baseball fields, and ironically, you were trained on one of those too.
I was the first group in the Mahoning, in the Tri-County area to have been trained on AED units.
The first non-medical,
not outside of the actual fire departments and medical people. I was in with the first group. It was because I was a baseball coach manager at the time, and Little League. So they were going to start putting out these AED units, and they wanted to train people up. And so,
but there was not an AED unit at the field you were at.
Not at this.
I wonder if they have one now.
They do.
Oh, okay.
They do.
He does know that.
They do.
I wonder, does our church have one?
Because this was at a church softball field.
Yeah.
Now, I know our old church has them.
Yeah.
But I thought about that at one point, and I kept thinking to myself, that is something I want to talk to them about to make sure we at least have one unit somewhere in the building. So anyway, I'm guessing about that time is when they zapped me. I start to come back, and it was like, this is the best description I can give it, is one of those old style.
Some of these people are too young to know about those old styles.
No. Some of these people know.
They're younger than you.
It's an old TV set, like the one where
No, because we had one of those when we got married.
Except it took about 5 minutes to warm up.
It was about 25, 30 years old at the time. And the first person home from work had to turn it on so we could watch it sometime that evening.
Hey, I'm going to start cooking dinner. Turn on the TV so it's ready by the time we're done eating. But
those were good times.
Those are good old days, yeah. So, but yeah, it was like one of those old TVs where you turned it on or you turned it off, and you would see like a little speck in the middle of the screen, and then it would just sort of start to, like this, and then come into focus, and the whole thing would come into focus.
No, I wasn't calling you old. I said you probably don't remember these TVs. He's calling you old.
I did not call anybody old. It's all her. So I see this. I mean, basically, I see a very narrow view, just like that, very dark still, and everything around it is gray. And it starts to broaden. It starts to come back into focus.
I think we should get a recording of a old TV where it's turning on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we should do.
I should do that.
Okay.
I should do that.
No. They did not give him any injections. We know that. No.
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
They didn't. They almost did. They almost did.
But they were too busy doing something else to give him the injection.
He thinks you're calling. She's doing it, not me.
I was saying he's old.
I was just talking
about the rest
of
you are young.
I just said the TVs were old.
Okay.
If you've seen them, that's not...
Okay. So we know that they didn't give him any injections at that point.
And just for Steve, okay, so here's what's going on at this time. Well, I'm still laying there dead, basically.
I don't know if he's saying because you're calling them all old.
So while I'm laying there, I'm still not here. I'm laying there dead. And the one guy, his name, okay, so John was the main EMT guy. Abby was there. She was, well, I'll get to her in a second. Steve, this guy Steve, was doing the bag to try and, basically do the breathing now, because they took the place of the two guys who were doing the chest compressions and breathing for me from the baseball team. So they're working on me. Abby, this is the part Steve likes.
So
Abby,
they could not give him an injection because there were no veins that they could get
because
to.
my heart's not beating.
Yeah.
So you inject something into a vein with no heartbeat, it's just going to sit there. So what they do,
We learned a lot.
I wish I could. It's below the knee. Let's see if I can put my leg up here. Oh, look at that! Look at that. So right about here on your leg, you know that the bone, okay?
The bone.
The bone. The main.
The bone.
There's that big bone right there between your knee and your ankle. They
drill.
Abby,
They use a bone drill.
EMT friend Abby drills into my leg
because she's going to put it directly in the bone.
It goes right into your bone marrow, goes right into your body.
No, they never did.
They didn't. They were going to. But they were prepping me for that. It was something that probably would have kickstarted me or done whatever. And they're getting ready to do that. They shocked me one time. And they got my heart going. So they just left the needle in my leg, you know, I mean,
and so, he's saying, wow, no injections. Well, and this is when he got to the hospital later. Even the doctors in the emergency room didn't know how to deal with it because they kept saying, well, none of this makes sense.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. Yeah. So I'm coming to. I've got this needle stuck in my leg, and it's not just like a needle, like, you know, you would do. It's like probably the size of a.
It wasn't a needle. It was a
it's a hollow.
No.
Tube,
it's
basically.
like, you know, when they put they're going to do an IV or something, when they put a lock in. You know, I don't know what those are called. But that's what it was in your leg.
But what they put in actually screws into your bone.
It screws in so they can put
like
its stuff in.
Like a drill bit, basically. Yeah. What's this? Also forgot one of the guys that helped save you wasn't supposed to be at
yes.
Thank
you.
That
came out later.
Wasn't supposed to be at the game either. Yeah, and he got so while my wife was yelling at me saying, "You're not going to practice. This is stupid. You're not the guy who did my compressions, Matt.
His wife was yelling at him.
Matt was getting yelled at by his wife, and she's like, are you serious? You really? So yeah. So again, this is where I come up with, you know, God doesn't. Everything works for a reason. Okay, everything happens for a reason.
So he says the bone procedure is old school. Well, we are in the Midwest, and you know, we're always behind both coasts. And
okay, great. So yeah, they did the old school treatment.
Well, this is already 7 years ago.
It was 7 years ago. 7 years ago.
Yes, a central line. Thank you. You know, I'm calling it all kind of things, and I worked in medical profession, mining for bone marrow.
Yeah, it's a new game show. Mining
a
bone
catheter.
Marrow.
Okay.
So could be. Is that what it is?
I don't
know. Bone
know.
Catheter.
You know what?
It could be. It could be.
Yeah, so is Orange Cone in Ohio?
He mentioned something earlier. I think he's from Northeast Ohio somewhere. Yeah.
Well, but you're closer to Cleveland, which is probably closer to. I don't want to say professional because they're professional here.
Yeah, right. Yes, our God is an awesome God. Absolutely.
No, I didn't. I know
what you're saying. I know what you're saying. We are a little more podunk than.
But we're not completely podunk.
Anyway, so.
Oh, he grew up in Shaker Heights. So he's in Chicago. Yeah. So, you know.
I knew Shaker. I knew it was somewhere up
there.
He
lives
Cleveland.
In Chicago. They have more crime than we do.
They do. Well, you know what, though? I hate to say it. I think per capita, Youngstown still has more shootings than Chicago. Not as many total, but per capita, I believe.
Okay. So.
Yeah, things were, and I don't know, Mary, if they would have done the same thing now or not. But yeah, so they drilled this thing into my leg. They zap me. I start coming to. In fact, I remember it was cool because after the fact, like a year later, I got to hear lots more details from all three EMTs.
Stan, we still say pop.
It's pop. It's pop here. It's not soda. It's pop. So I got to hear things after the fact from the EMTs. I got to hear things after the fact from the guys that were on the baseball field. Cleveland Clinic. All right.
Okay, so does he know how close Ravenna is to?
We're about 30 minutes from Ravenna, I think.
Maybe 40.
35, something like that. We're about an hour and 20 minutes to the Cleveland Clinic. So, yeah, we're not very far at all. 1 hour from Independence, about 45 minutes to Akron, Canton, depending on what part you go to.
And about an hour to Pittsburgh.
And you know what? We're like about 0 minutes from Canfield. And from where we're sitting right now. That's
okay.
0 minutes.
So
yeah, so I'm coming to, things come back in focus. They start asking me questions. And I got to imagine Ross. I mean, he's Orange Cone. He said he's done EMT work. And after talking with the EMTs, it's not like what I think a lot of people think as it's portrayed on TV.
So he worked as a volunteer EMT. Did you shock people? Did they come back?
He said he did get a couple people back with CPR.
Okay.
But as much, and again, I'm all for CPR. Absolutely. If you can get the training, do it, because you never know when you might be in a situation where it can come in handy. But it's not always successful. Just don't assume that you're going to do it and everything's going to be perfect. That's not close to reality. Even for EMTs, even with all the equipment,
even reading statistics on, the number of people who go into the hospital. If they've had CPR and they've, been shocked back, there's, a percentage of people who still don't make it. And it's a high percentage. Mm-hmm. And those that are in the hospital and then undergo other procedures and then go home, it's really like the percentages start getting lower and lower of people. Hi,
Holly.
Hi, Holly. So,
yeah. So it, and especially as time goes by, the longer you're down, obviously the worse your chances are. And I think it's like something like after the first 5 minutes, your chances drop. Yeah, like a rock. And then for each minute or so beyond that, it drops like another 10% or something. It's something crazy. The point I was at was I was basically at like 0.00 something percent chance of coming out of it without Dane Bram.
He says that it's not even funny. Tell him it's not funny.
I'm joking.
Tell him
without any brain damage. It's not funny.
But sometimes that's how we fight. Just so you know that this is how serious our fights get.
But it's a very serious fight right now. So I mean, to come out without brain damage, well, we're getting to it, but so I come to, got a thing drilled into my leg that I don't know about yet. Steve knows. He knows the story. He knows the story.
So Holly's joined us late, and for anyone who joins us late, we are challenging you to think, as we're talking, what would you do in this situation? You receive a phone call. What are your first responses? You get to the hospital. What are your responses? So we need to move to you. They're asking you questions. Mm-hmm. And
what was the question?
What were the EMT asking you? Where you were?
Yeah. So they say where. Yeah. They go, okay. So I'm coming to, my heart, I could feel is just like pounding like crazy. I mean, it's
making up for lost time.
It's making up for lost time because I have no oxygen going through my body. My toes are tingling so bad they hurt. That's about
your leg hurt, but you didn't know why.
My left leg from my knee down was in
excruciating
pretty good pain, but I didn't realize. I thought maybe, and I'm thinking, okay, I passed out. Maybe I broke my leg. Maybe something happened. I wasn't really sure. Yeah, Mary, there is definitely some damage.
No, there is not. And quit speaking it. Quit speaking that.
I gotta be funny, man. Mary,
You're not funny.
She's doing it in good jest.
Okay,
she's just
move on with the story.
So,
I'm trying to keep you on track.
I know. So my heart's racing. I'm coming to. Everything's starting to come back into focus. I'm laying on the ground, and I just see people around me, all around me, and I'm like, okay, I passed out. I fainted. I don't know what happened. And then they start asking me questions. Okay, where are you at? I'm laying on the ground near home plate at a baseball field in Struthers, Ohio, and High Point Church, which I always forgot the name of the church, but I remembered it that day. For some
Which
reason.
he could not remember the name of our family doctor, who is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah,
but he explains where the family doctor.
I'm so bad with names. I actually think I'm better with names now than I was before this happened.
Okay,
but
do you see? Mary is trying to tell you something here.
Yes, she is keeping me on track. So she asked what questions they asked me. They asked who my doctor was, who's my family doctor. I said, I did. I'm laying there. I'm saying, well, I'm bad with names, but if you go up 224, you turn right at the Arby's there, make a left just before you get to the veterinary clinic. You go past the veterinary clinic and turn right. That's his office right there.
And they knew where it was.
And they're like, okay, yeah, he knows exactly where he's talking about. They asked me, who's the president, who's this, who's that.
They're now putting you on a stretcher to take you in an ambulance.
Not quite yet. But yeah, they basically are like, okay, the guy knows what's going on. And I'm like laying there saying, okay, I thought I was just going to lay there for another 5-10 minutes, catch my breath, and then I was going to go home.
Stan, your doctor could move and you'd still go in the wrong door because there's a new doctor in there.
Oh, man. But that was the only thing I could do at the time, Mary. That's the only way I could describe it was, hey, turn right here, turn left at the veterinary.
No, then Jeff has lack of oxygen from the time he was born. Because he doesn't ever remember people's names.
Oh, man.
You don't.
No, I didn't. But I do.
No, you don't ever remember people's names. You will say to me, that guy that we saw at that party and he has a wife, and I'm supposed to, from vague description, there's a guy at a party, there were 50 people at the party, I'm supposed to, he's sort of tallish. Okay, now I can rule out like maybe half the men.
I can't even pronounce his name. Third doctor, same office. just stick with that office. Whoever the doctor goes to, whoever is the new doctor there, just keep going to that office. I'm so glad you guys
can laugh about that.
We have to. So they do. They figure out, hey, this guy's with it. I thought I was going to get up and leave after I relaxed for a few minutes, and they're like, that's when I realized what was going on.
You still didn't realize.
I just fainted. Yeah. And I came to.
I need to eat something.
I'm hungry. Maybe I just didn't eat enough.
I didn't drink enough.
I'm dehydrated, whatever. And that's when they told me, well,
my doctor's name is East Dr. Ho.
East Dr. Ho.
As opposed to West.
I'm not sure
Ho.
What the West Dr.
East
Ho
Dr. Ho.
I'm not sure
West Dr. Ho. Is there some play on words I'm missing? Okay. Good luck with Steve identifying.
I don't know who East Dr. Ho is, though. I hope it's
Dr. Ho.
I don't know.
Easy.
So
my doctor's name is Easy. And Dr. Ho. It's easy to remember. Like he's saying.
Okay. Who's East Dr. Ho?
I'm thinking it's wordplay.
Well, one of my heart doctors, the one who did my heart cath, was Dr. Hoot. So that wasn't too much different. No. Dr. Hoot.
Okay.
So that's when they told me, no, you're not going home right now. You sort of like died here. Oh.
Jeff wakes up. My doctor's down the street. Washington is the president. And I'm hungry. Yeah. Well, who was president at the time? Did they ask you that?
Yeah, and I don't remember. Was it 215? That would have been Obama, right? Yeah.
So did you say Washington was the
I
president?
did
No.
probably say Washington. Maybe Lincoln. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Lincoln or Washington. Oh my goodness.
My other doctor
Is
is
hard
hard.
to-
Dr.
Thangamengenarian.
Narian?
Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
Thanga-
Dr. Thangamengenarian. Thangamengenarian. Stan, you wouldn't even be close on that one.
My plastic surgeon was Dr. Maybe. For real?
Oh my goodness.
No, does he have a plastic surgeon? Maybe he does. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Dr. Maybe. Are you sure? No, that's third base. No, doc. No, sure. Are you sure? No, he's the heart surgeon.
Okay.
My own little Abbott and Costello act
Okay,
going there.
so-
Who's on first? What's on second?
It's
Maybe is the
9:20.
plastic surgeon.
You're not moving
We're
along.
moving along. Okay. They rush me to the hospital.
You have 10 minutes
what?
to complete the hospital because we have to have some time to talk about what's happened in our lives since then.
Dr. Thingamajig.
You guys
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
the ones who get him off
Yeah,
track.
you guys are messing me up here. Okay. So they
His
get me-
cardiologist is Dr. Ross.
Dr. Ross. That's not too bad.
Ross's cardiologist is Dr. Ross.
That's interesting. That's easy to remember. My
Well, you're-
cardiologist's first name was Jeff.
It was.
His
Not cardiac surgeon.
cardiac surgeon. The
Okay.
other guy was Dr. Hoot, someone who did the heart cath. The surgeon was
Mary,
Dr. Jeffrey Fulton.
You know it.
And I still remember the names.
Okay.
Squirrel. Oh, sorry.
So
So they rushed me to the hospital.
they get you in the emergency.
Well, they rushed me to the hospital. They said, "How are you feeling?" I said, my heart's still pretty racing quite a bit. I said, my toes are tingling. And I said, but why does my left leg hurt so much down below my knee? And they said, well, we had to put, and I think, what did Mary call it? A direct line or something like that. Something like that, or whatever Orange Cone had said, some kind of basically a bone catheter. They didn't explain it that way. They just told me we had to put a needle in your leg to, in case we need to put medication in.
And of course, when I hear this story, there's many more people in the room, and they're saying things like asking what kind of drill. Was it a Black and Decker?
I think it was a DeWalt. Might have been a DeWalt. I'm not sure. Could have been, Black and Decker. Could have been a Sears
Steve,
special.
If Goofy is the president and Donald Duck is the vice president, they're not taking you to the emergency room. They're taking you to a mental hospital.
Yeah, those padded walls are just for your protection. Don't they look lovely this time of year? So I'm on the way to the hospital. My leg hurts. They tell me there's a needle in there. That's all I knew. There was just a needle in there. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I get to the hospital. And they tell me that my family is in some kind of waiting room. None of them have seen me yet. I'm back there, and I basically said, okay, so is my cell phone still with me?
Him thinking, oh crap, I went to this baseball practice and now I'm in the emergency room. And now my wife's even further behind in packing. I better do something really nice.
Oh, man.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
What would you do next? You
mind.
left the house. So this is for the men here. You left the house. You did not kiss your wife goodbye. She was yelling at you.
She was yelling at me. Would you kiss your wife if she was yelling at you? I'm going to tell you yes. Do it anyway. Because you don't know what's going to happen when you leave that house.
So, she now is in the waiting room of the emergency room and still doesn't have packing done.
Right.
So
I wasn't thinking so much about the packing at that point.
I know you weren't.
I was just thinking about you guys in general. So I asked one of the nurses back there, I said, it's my cell phone. Is there a bag of my stuff? Is my cell phone still with me? And they said, yeah. And I said, can I use it? They pulled out a bag and they give it to me. And at the time, and I know I've said this before, but at the time, two things I hated. He's
gotten over that.
Hated.
He takes them all the time now.
Group texts and selfies. And it's still a little annoying to get all these group texts.
So that's the selfie I get.
So I took this picture from the emergency room and I texted it. I actually texted it to all of you. I mean, I texted it to you, Jeffrey, Dave, all of the ones in my family, immediate family, who had a cell phone at the time that I had on there. Oh, my infarction on election day. And they asked me who the president was. It still said, and I said Trump 10 minutes earlier, he was elected. Oh, my goodness. Talk about timing. I mean, what are you going to answer?
I don't like either.
Yeah. So, but I did. I got my phone. I held it back. Tried not to get too much of my chest because, you know, I didn't want all my muscles to show since I was bare chested at the time.
Pray for me. Who prays the way I need them to pray?
And so I took this selfie and I sent it off to my family and basically just said something like, I'm still alive. Okay. At least give them some kind of.
Can we compress all of this?
Yes, we can.
Next stuff. So in the emergency room.
Well, you sort of alluded to this earlier. The doctors, the nurses, the technicians are all looking at my chart. They're looking at it and saying, wait, they didn't give him meds yet. He had a cardiac arrest. His EKG is fine. His EKG looks.
No, they weren't even saying you have cardiac arrest.
EKG wasn't fine, but they ran some tests that didn't really show there was heart. Little bit of.
They didn't know the heart, what if the heart was damaged or not at that point. But they kept saying he's fine. They were actually considering just sending you home.
Yes.
And my sister came, who is a nurse, and she insisted. And then they were going to put you on a floor that was just a general floor. Mm-hmm. And she insisted that it be a floor that monitors. So they did put, we didn't know why his heart stopped.
Yeah, it just stopped.
And so is there some electrical problem going on? Is it going to stop again if they send him home? And so they put him on a cardiac floor. Now, in the emergency room.
Yeah, in the emergency room, some of the guys from the team, including the youth pastor, showed up. Now you guys got to see me first.
Now, when they show up, Matt, whose wife was upset that
he was the one doing the compressions.
She told me when he came home, he looked like shell shocked. Yeah, she asked him what happened. Now she was upset that he left, and then she says, "Well, go to the hospital." Just leave.
I think he said something like, I feel like I need to be there. And she said, go. Go. So some of the guys come to the hospital room, to the emergency room. And there were a few things that happened. I mean, I saw my family. Obviously, that was very, very moving and nice to know that, I was still there for them. And, Matt came in the room.
You didn't say what you texted me.
What did I text you?
You said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I said, I love you. And you said, I'm sorry. And I said, why are you sorry? And what did you say? What would you say? What is your first thing you text your wife? She's in the emergency room. What do you text your wife?
Or husband.
Yeah. See, I would probably be texting, you better be dead, because if you're not, I'm going to kill you. I'm being brutally honest here. Like, no, I wouldn't text that. If I was in the bed.
Can I pull my phone up and scroll back 7 years of texts?
No. You don't remember?
Well, I remember something.
I remember exactly what you said.
You remember exactly what I said? I remember it's something on the lines of, for not loving you like I should.
Yes, that's what he said.
See? Mind like a trap. So Matt comes in the room, and I don't even know how to explain
See, look, that's what Mary's texting. If you aren't dead, you might
Not
be
dead
soon.
soon. You will be. Yeah. If you aren't dead, you will be soon. I saw Matt there. It was like we didn't even talk. He just looked at me. I looked at him, and he knew. I mean, it was just like he knew I was pouring out as much thanks as I possibly could for what I was realizing at this point he had done. You know, I at this point I'm realizing that, you know, I was basically, you know, dead down for 12 minutes that he was working on me. Another few minutes after the EMTs got there.
Now, after they left, and you found a lot of this out later, but after the ambulance left, they did stay. The youth pastor stayed at the baseball field.
Yeah.
And
I was just getting to
did.
that. It was just,
Go ahead.
No.
And did talk to the people there.
Yeah. So there was a group of people there, some Christians, some not. And they, after the ambulance took me away, you know, Sean told me when he came to the hospital room was that, you know, they basically continued to pray. They talked about what happened, and he said that some people had come to trust in Christ at that moment, at that time, while they were praying after they took me to the hospital. And when Sean told me that in the emergency room, and I guess if you just had basically, I guess death experience, near death experience, whatever you want to call it, what would be, I don't know, what would be going through your mind at that time? But when
you said this, you said if one person is saved because of this experience, it was all worth it. When you said that, I was mad.
You were mad.
I'm being brutally honest here.
Okay.
I was mad. Yeah, I've never told you this.
Okay.
I was mad when you said that. I was mad. I thought he can say that because he was dead. He didn't go through the trauma of getting a phone call. You know, it took me much longer to process all of that, and you know, to deal with Marcus and Douglas and Melissa and I. And this is what is, you know, everyone has a perspective of something like this, and Melissa and I went through the same thing. We didn't go through what you went through.
I know.
And you didn't go through what we went through. So Melissa and I went through the same thing. And we could, when even, you know, a year later, when we're watching you do certain things, we could feel like we had a connection, where I felt like you were, and I'm sure I said to you probably a few hundred times, you know, in the time after, you know, the 6 months, the year, the 18 months, I would say to you, you need to talk to someone. You need to figure out why this happened, what you're supposed to do with it from this point on, how you should proceed, because I couldn't help you. And I mean, you did. You've talked to other people who've gone through similar things, and the similar feelings of, now what do we do with this? What am I here for? What is my reason for?
Yeah. Well, and at that time, I mean, even at that moment, and Kelly's basically, I think, echoing what I'm saying here. It was like I you know, talking to the youth pastor, it was like, okay, I don't care what God does with me at this point. If this is what it was all for, I'm good with it. If it was, you know, to save someone, if it was to, you know, bring someone, you know, to an understanding of God and Christ, great. if it saves somebody's life, I was fine. I was fine.
Okay, so Kelly says she says, I still feel like you, Patty. Now I did in this time period from the time you had the cardiac arrest until now, I've realized, okay, so I went through trauma, which then brought up feelings from the trauma from when I was younger, which, watching with my brother, my brother was shot and he was in the hospital and we thought he wasn't going to make it. My sister's being in the hospital, other people going through things. And I almost drowned when I was about 7.
One more thing.
And my sister saved me. And so I worked through a lot of my trauma, which helped me work through the trauma of what he went through, which then helped me to start to have a healthier view of it all.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I mean,
it sounds like Kelly's trying to do the same.
Through all of this, I was very thankful you were still alive.
I hope so. Good night, Orange Cone, by the way.
Good night.
I missed that.
So why don't we do the hospital very quickly? So he's admitted.
I'm admitted. And Steve, yes, then they unscrewed the needle thing out of my leg, which made this nice grindy kind of sound as it was coming out and unscrewing from my bone. I know you'd want to hear it.
So that was one thing my sister, the nurse, was freaking out about, because they did this on the baseball field. So there's dirt. And she's saying, do you know how many people from these types of things?
You wanted to kill me, yeah.
Do you know how many people that end up with bone infections? Because this was on a baseball field with dirt everywhere.
So now her sister's telling her, he might have to have his leg amputated and all this other. Oh, man. So they took the needle thing out.
They moved you to a floor.
Yeah.
Can we skip
we
to
could
that?
Skip. Yeah, there were some other things.
They moved him to a floor. He's observed overnight. They tell me I can stay with him until the cardiologist comes in. At 7 a.m., a nurse comes in yelling at me because I didn't leave after the cardiologist came in. And I'm like, the cardiologist never came in.
Never showed
and
up.
They're arguing with me. And I said, no, I would know if a cardiologist came in. Nobody's ever come in. Not a nurse. No one ever came in all night long.
I got a decent night's sleep, I guess. I don't know.
I was sleeping with my head leaned over a bed. So then the cardiologist comes in at like 2 o'clock.
2 in the afternoon the next day.
They wouldn't let him eat.
They wouldn't let me eat. I'm like, come on.
Or drink. And then they
were trying to kill me.
Then immediately, we have to take you for a heart cath right now.
Yeah, Dr. Hoots, like, it was like 30 minutes. They had me whisked out of there.
Yeah, and you're trying.
Okay, this is where Disney comes in, guys. So they're telling me, okay, they want to do a heart cath. Dr. Hoots telling me they want to do a heart cath. And I'm like, okay, well, if they do the heart cath, and he's saying, we might have to put stents in. We don't know. I said, well, if they put stents in, because my wife got invited to the Disney Social Media Mom Celebration 2015. This is a big deal. Will we be able to go to it? What was it, like the following Monday? This was on a Friday. This was, Friday, right? It was Thursday. Now it was Friday. Thursday when it happened.
No,
Friday.
We were supposed to leave on Sunday.
Was it Sunday or Monday?
Sunday.
And we were supposed to leave within a couple of days. I said, will I be able to take her?
We were going to drive.
But even before that, I said something like, can I just do it when I get back? Can you do the heart cath when I get back? I promise when I get back, I'll have a heart cath, but I need to take her down to Disney. This is a big deal. And it was. I mean, it was a very big deal to be invited to this event. And they're basically, no, not unless you want to be driving. They're saying, not unless you want your wife to like have to grab the wheel and start driving when you die again on the way down there. So I'm like,
and the nurse said something like, "What do you want your wife to be grabbing the wheel and trying to do CPR on you?"
So I went ahead with the heart cath.
And after the heart cath, he comes out way too quick. He says it's going to be 45 minutes to an hour. He comes out within a half hour, and I'm thinking,
He's dead.
On the table. Okay, so here, my husband lived, and now I'm thinking immediately, like, I was not calm at that point, and he comes and he shows me the heart cath imaging, and he says he should be dead. And that was a common theme over and over through the hospital stay. He should be dead. He shouldn't be here. Someone or something. This is what the guy who did the heart cath, someone or something was watching over him. And I said, yeah, we know it was God. Yep. And so then you had on May 4th.
Which, by the way, when you have doctors, nurses, technicians, everybody coming into your room repeatedly before and after I had surgery, saying you should be dead, note to self, send a memo to the hospital to have all the doctors, nurses, and technicians go through bedside manner training. Because telling somebody that they should be dead doesn't necessarily make them feel very good. Okay.
So May 4th, you have quadruple bypass.
Well, this was between heart cath day and quadruple bypass surgery day.
The green eggs and ham was the day before.
Yeah, this was like a every day or every night read for Jack. I'd read green eggs and ham. So you brought that to the hospital so I could read it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we got a picture of it. And so,
and I think part of that was you didn't know if,
because we don't know, but we don't. Yeah. The bottom line is we don't know tomorrow. We don't know tonight. You know, this.
Yeah, they were telling me I was lucky to be alive. I know, but it was hilarious though, because you should be dead.
Okay,
you should be dead.
So and I have.
Why are you still alive?
I have this picture.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
That was the day we came home, which I keep saying you were in the hospital for 9 days, which technically I guess you were, because we came home on May 9th. And when we came home, our red bud tree was blooming. So he has, it's bigger now.
It is bigger now, but it's the green is.
They can't see it.
They can't see it. Yeah, the green is all, that's no good. The green is all green screened. And there goes the focus now. So we, how do we get us back? Usually it comes back, but the last 2 weeks, for some reason, it's been doing this.
So
give it a sec. I'll have to manually pump it here. But go ahead, keep talking. So
he had the quadruple bypass and was in ICU. And there were complications in the hospital due to medication errors. And that was a fight. Because you were getting weird. And I kept trying to say, look, he's not okay on this med. This med is affecting him. And while I was out of the room, the nurse came in and convinced you to take it. Mm-hmm. It was a pain med. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but his blood pressure was dropping at the one point. It was like 80/50. And, I try to tell people you need somebody in.
Yeah. You want somebody to be your advocate, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, that's I'd say something very similar to, when people say, well, are you going to be at such and such meeting? And I will say, God willing, or something to that effect. I will do everything in my power to be there, but you just don't know. You just don't know.
So we came home on May 9th. And you had a great recovery. And
this is something that I, not just once a year when we do our annual show to talk about it, but I try to tell people all the time.
Oh, and
about what happened and how special
So-
and how miracles still happen.
so probably for about 6 months, there was a honeymoon period when we got home. When I say he was getting weird, like he was combative with me.
Oh, yeah, I
and
felt horrible.
yeah,
I mean, it was like I wasn't me at all with this whatever they gave me for that one.
yeah, it really altered, drastically altered his mood. And I mean, if your blood pressure is dropping that low, yeah, it would alter your mood.
By the way,
Yeah.
Gaston. There we go.
Well, so there was a 6 month, because I heard the story. I insisted on my husband have an advocate.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
That's just one of the things that, again, helps make things worthwhile, that our story helps somebody.
But for about 6 months, we had a honeymoon period where we got along very well. And it was, very, things were great between us. And then I think as the feelings of, just the routine of the day to day, then you're left with time to actually start processing what happened. Now, I don't know how you processed it. And I
still don't know.
But I know, like I said, I started to do some healing on my own, and started to really look at things that occurred in my life and why I respond the way I do. And I think for things like this, yes, we're married, but I think we each had to process things very separately.
It was probably a little more than 6 months, because wasn't it about 5 or 6 months after the surgery, we were back at Disney. So we were probably getting along even after that for a little bit.
No,
it's probably closer to 7 or 8 months.
Okay, no, I mean we still got along, but it was
but it was that. I mean, that was another thing to me, which was like, wow.
So
it was 5-6 months later. I'm riding Tower of Terror. I'm riding roller coasters.
If you had a heart cath, you wouldn't have been able to do that.
Not with a heart cath. Apparently, with the bypass and the fact that my heart had practically zero damage. They said, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I could have even played softball by the end of the season in that summer. But my wife, for some reason, didn't want me on the field.
No one called the police. Okay, so
the youth pastor and the church apparently were conspiring behind my back to not let me play any games that season.
Do you understand the trauma that you put all them through?
I get it, but I'm sitting there going, I can play, guys. I can play softball.
They were scared. Could you imagine the people clutching their hearts as you were up at bat?
I know. I'm sorry. You
probably need to call people and apologize.
I do. I mean, I kept going to every week or I'm like, come on, guys. I can play the last maybe 2-3 weeks of the season. Please let me play. I can finish the season out. This would be really cool. I mean, wouldn't this be? And I actually, in a way, I was looking at it as, wouldn't this be something to glorify God? I'm serious.
Well,
I was looking at it like, look, guys, if people see me on the field,
and they all have heart attacks,
and then everybody has, and saw some guy who dropped dead from a cardiac arrest playing softball before the season was even finished, that would have been pretty cool. You got to admit. But to me, being at Disney 5 months later, it was I think we went September, October that year. Yeah. So it was about April, May, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah. So it was 5 to 6 months. We were back at Disney and I was riding all the rides. I was doing everything
now. Okay. So when we go back to Disney and he's getting on things like Mission Space.
Oh, Mission Space had me a little nervous. I got to say that.
And I don't ride Mission Space. And so I'm sending Marcus and Jack in with you.
I know.
And I'm sitting, and it takes a long time for that ride.
It takes a little
And
while.
I'm sitting out waiting
Yeah.
and waiting and waiting and holding my breath. Things like when the first time you went to the store.
Oh. I went to, what was it,
Giant Eagle.
I went to Giant Eagle. This is the first time I was out driving on my own.
And he
A
goes
few
to
months
the
later,
store.
I go to the grocery store, I go to Giant Eagle, and you get a phone call from Giant Eagle. This is not a joke. She gets a phone call. Why the heck would Giant Eagle be calling her? And I can't imagine what you had to have been thinking. I mean, I know you had to have been thinking, I dropped dead. This was it. I'm done. And,
I'm at the point where I do not automatically think.
But Giant,
when you're gone, yes,
they would never call you. Why would they call you?
They were calling to see if you wanted to renew your prescription.
Why? I don't know why. It was just so weird. It was so weird that they would have called.
But if I leave the house,
that at the grocery store,
and I can't tell you how many times this has happened. I will leave the house and I'm driving down 46, and an ambulance passes me, and I will call you and say, "Is everything okay?"
Oh, is that what happens? Okay.
Yeah, there's weird phone calls. Yeah,
just out of the blue.
Out of the blue, after 5 minutes after I left the house. Yeah, that's why.
Is that what happened the other day? Remember, I was out somewhere. We had just texted or talked. We had just talked on the phone. I was at a client site. I was doing some work. It was really weird. We were talking. We got off the phone, and it was like 10 minutes later.
I'm reading something. The TV's on, and I didn't even pick up on it. There was an ambulance in the TV.
It's like Pavlov's dog. Oh my goodness! Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Because she texted me and just said, "Just text me back that you're okay." And I said, "I'm okay. What's going on?" And you said you just had a weird feeling. And it was actually, you saw an ambulance or heard an ambulance
I heard
on
it.
the TV. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's, maybe we need to, I think we need to have some, and I'm joking, but I'm not joking. That's like a PTSD thing. I mean, it really? Yes. Yes. I'm not joking though. I'm being for real.
Yeah, I know you're being for real. And that's what, the thing is, you don't actually, when you're going through it in the beginning, you don't actually sort out all those feelings. And now it's like 7 years later, and I'm sitting here saying, okay, yeah, that's odd that I still do this.
Yeah.
It's not like if I'm driving down, well, I can't say that because if I'm driving down 224, sometimes I will call you if I see an ambulance. I know it's not coming to our house.
Whatever. I know. I'm not going to, I can't put myself in your shoes. Thankfully I can't.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. I do know that I said on Friday, was Friday the 30th? Yes.
Yeah. No, Saturday.
I said on Saturday, I was looking up, Jack was at a level 10 as far as anxiety and just really kept asking questions. And even like yesterday and today, he's been a little more anxious. I had just thought he was in a really good place. And I noticed this anxiety that hasn't been around for a while. And then yesterday, we walked into church yesterday and somebody said, hi, how are things going? And I said, he's at a level 10, his anxiety is really bad. And after we talked, we gave a little testimony at church. And after we talked, you went to walk back.
Yeah. And I had said, it's in the room right next to us. So I had said several times, like I, told you again tonight, doctors, nurses all telling me during my visit, my stay, you should be dead. You should be dead. So after we, told our story to the congregation,
who should be dead,
and that's exactly what happened.
He stood up.
Come on over.
At
I
church.
start walking back to the
Dad.
to the
who should be dead.
Well,
That's what somebody said.
somebody said that. When
It's
I
like
was,
a movie line. Somebody
Yeah.
said a line and he's repeating it. Do you want to say hello?
Right. Say hi to everybody.
So does it make you a little anxious when we talk about when Daddy had his cardiac arrest?
You can bend down.
Does it make you anxious?
What cardiac arrest?
Do you remember when? We'll show you pictures.
When what?
Here, let me show you some of the pictures.
When he was in the hospital?
You remember that? This was 7 years ago.
Do you remember that?
Remember me reading to you? I was reading the book
Yes.
in the hospital.
Did the hospital make you anxious?
I don't know.
Okay if it did, but yeah. So anyway, so the doctors.
Guess what I was anxious about?
What
What?
were you anxious about?
You getting mad at me about me getting sad.
Yep.
And I never get mad. I never get mad. I wish I could explain to him that I never get mad because I never ever get mad at you.
Mom,
Hmm?
I'm worried that you're gonna get frustrated at me and mad at me next time when I get sad.
Well, don't see everybody that you know here loves you. You know that?
Yes, I'm worried that you're gonna do that, Mom.
Well, I don't think you need to worry about that. Okay?
Okay.
Gonna be good?
You gonna smile at them?
Hey, Mom, I'm worried that you're gonna do that.
Kelly said hi, Jack.
Yeah.
Hi, Jack.
Say hi, Kelly.
I mean, hi, Callie.
Kelly. Love you. Are you going to bed now?
Not yet. I'm worried that you're gonna do that, Mom.
I'm not going to do it.
She's not going to get mad at you for whatever it is that you're thinking may or may not happen in the future.
Mary said hi, Jack. And then she said, nice shirt.
Yeah, look at that. It's a little bit see-through there with some of the coloring there. But yeah, this is nice Be Our Guest Lumiere. Nice Lumiere
Who are
shirt.
you talking to, Mom?
We're talking to the people out there.
What are the
Can
people?
you see
Mary
them? Can
and
you see them?
Kelly.
They're all out there.
Mary and Kelly, and there's, I think,
Hey, Mary.
Stan was here.
Mhm.
And
Hey, Mary.
Josh was here, and Steve.
Patrick was here.
and,
Steve. A whole bunch of people.
Hey, Mary.
Ross.
Honey, Mary can't say hi to you. Yes, she
you can
did.
ask her a question.
She said yes.
Yes, she's
Yes.
saying yes. Okay. And there's Stan from the solo show.
You Stan saying hi.
He's saying hi.
Hey, Jack. So Mary, you met Mary and her husband Steve and their daughter Nevaeh.
Yeah,
Do you remember Nevaeh?
Remember we met them last October.
And Josh is
September?
still here. He says
Yes.
it's nice to see
I want
you.
to tell Mary something.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mary. Pay attention.
Hey, Mary.
Go
Yes,
ahead. Go ahead. Tell her.
I had a bad dream about not seeing my 5 nieces.
He had a bad dream about not seeing his 5 nieces.
Steve says, I have never seen Miss Patty mad at you, Jack.
Yep.
And I never have.
Mhm.
I never.
Very patient.
It's the thing is he mistakes, I think, and what
Tones, different tones.
no, but when I get frustrated because I don't know how to help.
Mm.
I don't know.
I'm worried that you're going to get frustrated at me next time when
I'm
I
not-
get sad, Mom.
I'm not frustrated at you. I'm frustrated at myself. Because
we just get frustrated because we don't like when you
no,
when you feel
because
bad.
we don't know how to help you.
Yeah,
Mom,
because when you say you feel sad, we want to help you.
Mom.
What?
I'm worried that you're going to get frustrated when I get sad
I
next
won't.
time.
I won't. I'll work on not getting frustrated. Okay.
And you work on
About not getting sad. I mean, about getting sad.
Yes.
yes. So you work on not getting sad, and we won't get mad because we don't. Right? When's the last time?
And
you
he
remember,
does love his nieces.
Hey, Mom.
When's the last time we got mad at you? Or anything?
I don't know.
Stan?
Hey, Mom.
Been
Yes.
a long time.
Yeah.
Are you going to get frustrated next time when I get sad or not?
I will try not to. Okay. I won't. Yes.
Uh,
I'm asking because I'm worried if you're going to do that next time when I get sad.
Did you take your gummy?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you give me a kiss? Say
I'm
goodbye.
asking you because I'm worried if you're going to do that next time when I get sad, Mom.
I won't.
and Kelly's praying for you to have a nice restful sleep tonight. Okay,
Okay.
so you can have a nice
Say good night to them.
a nice sleep.
Can you
Sound
say
good?
good night?
Good night. Hey,
Okay.
Mom.
Yes.
I'm worried that you're going to get frustrated next time when I get sad.
I won't.
She won't.
I won't.
Okay. So if you
Love
get
you.
sad, don't worry about it. But if you do get sad, don't worry about it. But even better,
Don't worry about what.
about anyone getting mad at you.
Or frustrate me because no
Right.
one will get mad at me or frustrate me when I get sad.
Right.
No.
Exactly. Okay. Thumbs up. All right.
Okay.
I was agitated, Mom,
I know, honey.
because of you getting frustrated about me getting sad.
I love you, son. I love you.
Okay, bud. Have a good sleep.
I get anxious about not seeing my 5 nieces, just like I
Yes,
get anxious
I
about
know.
not seeing the movie Boss Baby for 2 years.
I know.
So
That could be frustrating.
I do recognize that
Love you.
at this time of year as and I don't know. I mean, you know, the red buds blooming, you know, we all have these subconscious memories when things
Mom?
happen. Yes, honey.
I want to get sad without you getting frustrated next time so bad.
Okay.
Okay. Next time you get sad, she's not going to get angry or mad or anything.
Frustrated.
Or frustrated. Okay?
Okay,
You know,
Neither will I.
in my attempt to try to help,
because that
sometimes
makes
I
me
don't,
agitated.
I guess.
Okay.
That makes him
Okay.
agitated.
No reason to be agitated.
But, you know, the red bud is blooming again. And even if we don't even say anything, it's there. You know, you recognize signs of. There are like,
Yeah, I see the redbud tree out here, and I remember coming home
Oh,
from the hospital
yes.
that day, and they were blooming, and I was like, "Wow, that's really beautiful."
now he has done, and he, Mary says maybe he heard you guys talking about it lately too.
Mhm.
Yes,
I'm
but
sure. I'm sure
in
that's part of
addition
it.
to that, it's just an overall like I mean it's spring, and no, that's when these things happen. Now he did ask recently when we're going to Disney.
Yes, he did.
He used to ask all the time. He has not asked.
I mean, at this point, it's probably going to be September, October at the earliest, right? Unless somehow, miraculously, we end up having a trip before the end of May, because we don't like to go in the summer. June, July, August, pretty much out of it for us. Oh, you want to make an exception, don't you?
no,
I see that look.
no.
Oh,
Now,
man.
and there are so many things going on in our lives right now too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, we got the
Melissa
the
got
wedding.
married in September, and she is we're having a reception for her.
Mary says come in September. I guess they're going to be, but you're going to be there in what, 2 weeks
By herself.
by yourself.
We are.
Yeah, it is too hot in the summer.
We're having a reception, so that is a change.
Mhm.
And, you know, there's a lot going on with that. And then Marcus is graduating. And the graduation, we'll have a little party, but that's, you know, Marcus graduating. And Marcus graduating, I mean,
September. I like September.
Jack knows the pattern of things. Marcus will graduate. Eventually, Marcus will get a girlfriend. Then Marcus will get married, and Marcus will move out.
Yeah.
He knows these
That's
things.
the way. That's the way of life.
That's the way of life. But, you know, all of those are changes in his life.
Yeah.
And those changes are hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sensing the change. Exactly. Yeah.
And Melissa lives a little further and
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't see her.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's all hard.
Yeah.
And I can identify with some of those feelings because I was number 6 out of 7 children. And watching your siblings get married and move out. Did you have a trouble with that? Or did you just like go through the motions after your dad died? Did you check out?
I don't think it really bothered me when they moved out so much. fact, if anything, I was like, ooh, I get to move into a bigger bedroom now. I don't have to share a room with my one brother. I get my own room. So, I mean, there were some perks to them moving. Yeah.
The bedroom never affected me. Yeah, I got my own bedroom, but.
And my oldest sister had moved out when I was what? 5, 6, 7. It wasn't
my
that.
oldest sibling moved
So
out when I
maybe
was
8.
probably 5, 6.
Anyway, how do we get on this subject?
Jack came in and we started talking about how this all affected him.
Yeah.
And so we go back to the 7 years later.
Well, and then Marcus just is like, there's nothing I can really add to the story. So he doesn't, I don't think he even I think he just doesn't want to, in his way, just doesn't want to.
He did make
he
did make a comment about, I do know that one day there's going to be a phone call or, and that to me is one of the hardest things that, there is some point.
Yeah. I mean, yes, God poured down his grace on us 7 years ago.
Yeah.
He said it wasn't my time. He's,
Is there a stink bug?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not a stink bug.
No. I'll get it later.
Okay.
But I'll do this for now. So, he at this point said it wasn't my time. I'm shutting a window.
Okay, Stan says, speaking of miracles, I need one now. My iPad battery is about to die.
Well, here's the miracle, Stan. We're almost done, I think. So maybe we'll finish before.
Hopefully it will be a long time before he gets that call. But reality is we don't know when those calls are going to come.
Yeah.
And, trying to make the best of things. And
I guess that comes back around to one of the lessons I learned. I'm still not perfect at it, but I do try, and I hope other people can take heart or listen to what we went through and maybe change some things in their lives for the better. Like when you leave your house, try to give your spouse a hug, a kiss, let them know you love them. Because you don't know that might not be the last time you're leaving the house and we'll see them again. Your kids, same thing. Like I said, every morning I try to, if I'm heading out of the house, I try to make sure I say something to Jack. If it's, see you later. Hope you have a good day. Love you. Just something positive. Instead of just walking out the door and not saying anything. Can you imagine what you or that other person would feel like if that was the last memory they had of you? And again, you can't do that for every single moment of every single day, but just try to do it as much as you can. Try to be a positive influence on people as much as you can.
And I've shared over on my Instagram some reels recently regarding all of this. And the two things can be true at the same time. You can be very thankful for what God has done in your life, and you can be angry about other circumstances or even that circumstance. And I remember coming home from the hospital. While you were in the hospital, I came home twice to take 2 showers. And then I did, when they moved you to your own room, I did take a shower in your room.
Yeah. Don't read anything into that.
I came home twice, and the one time I came home, nobody was in the house, and I stood at the island, and I yelled at God, and I said, "Really?" I remember looking up, saying, "Really? You?" And I'm yelling. You didn't think I had enough for me to deal with? That I had to deal with this on top of it? you know, I every day is a struggle. And when I say struggle, I don't mean every day. Although Jack brings us so much joy, it is.
It's tough.
It is.
It's tough. It's very tough.
And the
I mean, even just the moment you saw here.
That's our everyday.
And
all
this,
day
and
long.
this obviously, this is very unscripted.
Like the rest of it was.
No, I mean, we at least knew.
Yes.
We have the framework. We know what the story is. We lived it, so we can at least talk about it. But obviously, we've had a lot of unscripted moments during tonight's show,
but
that was one of them for sure.
Every phone call I make,
and sometimes that could be that could be a moment that goes on for a half hour, an hour straight, questioning, like you said, you make a phone call.
What did you say? What did you mean by this? How come you did this? What, why are you upset? I do feel like I have to hide a lot of my emotions on a daily basis. I can't just cry.
Yeah.
I have to go in the bathroom, shut the door, and hope nobody comes in.
I think this while was about talking about trying to be a positive influence. I'm thinking that's what that was about. But yeah, Mary, yeah, I know that conversation that you talked about happens a lot. I mean, it's, you question, why certain things happen, but in those depths, in those moments, again, I got to look at the positives of the amount of joy this kid brings in our lives.
Yeah,
that we wouldn't have otherwise.
But that was also a process, I and that's a lot of what I do on Instagram and Facebook, and even when it's so much harder to write, because those are very raw feelings. But writing about autism, it's, I do it because I know that I'm helping somebody when, when he was 4 or 5 years old, and I thought life is hopeless. We have no hope. We have no joy. And if I could go back and tell myself anything, it would be, it's not always going to be this way.
Yeah. Mary saying, someone thinks that she's stronger than she is. You are strong. You're more than enough, Mary. I know you are.
And I hear that all the time, that, oh, you're such an amazing mom. Well, there are many times it doesn't feel that way. Yeah. It really doesn't feel that way. And I know, like, I look and think, even if people think I'm an amazing mom, I fail at loving you. I can show Jack an incredible amount of grace. I don't show you that same amount of grace. I don't. I get frustrated with you.
You do get a little frustrated.
I do
at times, yes,
a lot.
Moms, don't always feel amazing.
No,
but they are. Dads too.
And when you start to look at the divorce rate for couples who have a special needs child, the divorce rate for people in general.
Mm-hmm.
And you think you get to a certain point, and you would think the divorce rate would drop, and it wouldn't be as high. But then we hear people our age like, really, you raised your kids and now
we're hanging it up. I don't get it.
I don't. But the divorce rate for people with near-death experiences, and a lot of times it's, if a man has the near-death experience, they come to and they say, this isn't what I want to be doing with my life. And I read these statistics. So in the
Well, okay, so and here you go. So what I did is I came to and I said, let's live life. Let's
even if it didn't make sense.
even if it didn't make sense. And we went to Disney over and over again. Again, a lot of that was because of Jack, because that was his happy place.
Oh, get you want it to be there.
But at that point, I was like, let's just do what we can do. Let's go have fun. Let's be together. Let's enjoy life. And
that's a lot of work to get divorced after all this time. Too much paperwork. The wife should have just killed him then.
but oh my goodness.
And the thing is, I'm a capable
So I
person.
didn't look at it and say, I'm done with this. What I said is, let's have more fun together. Let's enjoy life. And this whole thing, this whole show, this whole thing was sort of born out of
a lot of that.
A lot of what happened to us, and that, well, first with Jack, then with dying, and within a year after that, we started this, and we started, the group, the POV group,
but I could have been a capable adult and said, we don't really need to go to Disney 7 times. I was not.
Yeah.
It was like you were a drug addict and I was enabling you.
So we burned through a few dollars.
And my sisters are looking at me saying, why are you guys going to Disney all the time? That isn't responsible. And I'm like, finally, I said, do you really think that I'm the one that's packing and unpacking every...
Sometimes we just didn't even unpack.
No, because I was washing clothes. But, if you have this experience and you felt you needed to do this, who was I to say, really, maybe you shouldn't do this? I mean, because I read the statistics, I knew that there were husbands that just left their wives. So, okay, this is...
Oh, so you were nervous that
but I mean, to me, I viewed it as a midlife crisis.
Okay.
I was.
Okay.
So this is this raw conversation. I was viewing it as a midlife crisis. And so...
See, I'm learning some things here tonight.
And so who was I going to... I wasn't going to be the person that said, okay, your midlife crisis is up, get on with your life.
Yeah.
But I know there was a level of frustration, and I know you felt frustrated that you didn't know what you were supposed to be doing with your life.
Right. And so yeah, we started this group, we started the page, we started the YouTube channel, we started the Instagram, we did all that like within less than a year after. It was like early 2016. It's like February of 2016, I think it was, when we started, the Twitter and all that stuff, WDWpov. And I know. I felt like, at least for me, I felt like part of that mission was to just sort of spread some joy.
Okay.
To put something out there.
Do you know what you're supposed to do with your life?
That was like a positive thing.
I periodically ask him this question, but I'm going to ask, I said I'm going to ask you guys, what would you do? Okay, so you've gone through an experience like that. Either it's your spouse or yourself that went through this. What do you do in those years following that? Do you write a book? You didn't write a book.
Didn't write a book.
Do you?
I don't like to read books either, though. So
do you start speaking? Do you?
I've done a marginal amount of speaking. Marginal.
No, but I'm asking them.
Yeah.
What would they do? What do you think you would be doing?
See, great experiences. Mary's glad they've been there a lot too, and yeah, I mean, you build memories, you build bonds with your, family.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm not opposed to any of that.
No. But no, I'm still. yeah, I mean, I felt like part of what I was being called to do was to do not seminars. What would you call them? You know, maybe go on to like a little speaking,
Tour.
not on a circuit, a tour. I wouldn't even call it that so much, but you know, just when the opportunity arose
Okay.
to be able to say, yeah, okay, I'll go to this event, or I'll go to this church, or I'll go to this, you know, dinner thing, and I even
Well,
did.
you can't talk for 2.5 hours.
No.
So you have to craft your message.
I would pare it down quite a bit.
Okay.
But when we're doing this, I mean,
Yeah.
we're obviously, this isn't what I would do if I were out somewhere at a dinner thing and being a speaker. or
And
something.
we talked to church yesterday. What? Maybe
About 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe we
and-
gave
and
a very abbreviated story because many of the people at church already know the story. A lot didn't though.
Yeah.
There were a lot of new people there yesterday. And so I felt like, okay, how much do I tell but not take up an hour long? Because that's not what we were there for yesterday. But yeah, I still sort of in my head think maybe I'm supposed to do some speaking things to talk about this and similar topics. And I need to stop saying that's the other thing.
No, and
Yeah, we did actually.
we did.
It was about 10 to 15, maybe tops. They didn't even give us a time per se. They just said, I even asked the pastor right as he brought us up there, and I said, what do you want me to say? I said, because I could go for an hour here. And he said, well, just start with, at the baseball field when you were at bat. Let's start there.
And you even sang.
I sang.
He did sing.
I sang
He did.
with a microphone in my hand.
He did.
I sang a verse from a song that in Christ alone. Because
Yes.
my wife had reminded me in something that she posted on Saturday. Was that Saturday or Friday? You posted it Friday, probably.
Yes, I did. And the one thing I said,
Are you trying to get me to sing it?
No.
Okay.
a few days after the event. So after,
So
that was on Thursday.
It happened Thursday.
And
So you went to
Sunday-
church the following
So
Sunday.
Sunday was one of the days I went home.
And I had not had my surgery yet.
No.
I didn't have that till Monday. So the next day, I was going in for quadruple bypass
but
surgery
Sunday, I was
at the church.
at the church, and I had gone to. Melissa had to go to work, and she dropped the boys off with someone. And I think I was picking the boys up and bringing them to the hospital to spend some time with you. But I had gone home to take a shower and went to pick up the boys. And I sat a few days later at church, we sang In Christ Alone. I sat there wondering why people stood and calmly sang this song. Everything in me, I wanted to go screaming from the rooftop that God had performed a miracle in our midst. So in Christ alone, this is no guilt in life, no fear in death. This is the power of Christ in me. From life's first cry to final breath, Jesus commands my destiny. No power of hell, no scheme of man can ever pluck me from his hand. Till he returns or calls me home, here in the power of Christ I'll stand. And
I'm
singing
losing it
this.
again just listening to it because that song it has a complete different meaning for me after.
Yes,
what
we're
happened.
singing this
And
song.
yes, Josh, I appreciate this. Thank you very much. Let's get together on that.
We're singing this song, and there are some men from the baseball field running around saying, we watched God raise a dead man.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, I'll never forget the one man who said, I heard what happened to Jeff in very calm. And I said, you heard the whole story? And he said, yeah. And he said, we're so happy for you. And I'm like, okay. And so this is the ending of my my Instagram post. God says in Luke 17:11-19, on the way to Jerusalem, he was passing along between Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered a village, he was met by 10 lepers who stood at a distance and lifted up their voices, saying, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. When he saw them, he said to them, Go and show yourself to the priest. And as they went, they were cleansed. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising God with a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. Not everyone who experiences a miracle comes back and thanks God. Let me be the one that praises God with a loud voice. And that's why we share.
Yeah. We're,
We know we're sitting here as a couple today because of God. And we need to give him the glory. And I know some people think, and every time I share something like this on Instagram, I lose followers. And I know that. I know that. I'd rather lose a few followers and impact. And I've had a lot of comments on that post about how it touched someone's life. So.
Yeah. Do you want me to, I wanted to put this up here if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Saturday, Saturday morning, it's our men's Bible study where we go to church at. And they were talking about grace. And we brought grace up a few times during this conversation, but they were talking about grace and asking, what does grace mean? And we're, sort of going over what, how God basically, it's basically God doing something for you, even though you didn't deserve. He was just giving you he's giving you grace. He's pouring his grace on you. Obviously, the day I was laying there on the baseball field, I was doing nothing to deserve or request or say, I need God, give me your grace. He gave it to me. He just gave it to me. And the next day on, my Bible app, and again, I don't believe in coincidences. So this was Saturday morning. This was the day, this was the actual 7-year anniversary day. And so the next day I look at my Bible app, it has a verse of the day. I usually try to read it. And this is what the verse of the day was the very next day after we were talking about grace, and just before we were going to be talking in front of the people at church. And, basically 2 Corinthians 12:9, but he, the Lord, said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast, I'm putting myself in this place here. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me.
Now, I think it's significant. You tear up, and you tear up when we. I would say until your cardiac arrest, I saw you cry twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Okay. Twice.
Well, maybe 3 times.
Okay.
I know once you were telling me about your dad.
Yeah, I remember.
And you teared up.
Yeah.
That was in the last house.
That was a long time ago. Yes.
You may have teared up when we got married and I was walking down the aisle. I don't know, because I don't really think you I joke around that you were.
I was just
Mr.
looking
Spock.
Forward to that evening. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
This is what I deal with. So really 2 or 3 times in up to that, but maybe.
Yeah, I know. I was. Yeah, my nickname was Spock.
My dad's
Mr.
funeral.
I definitely teared up. Then.
But like just having a conversation or like reading a Bible verse, you never would have teared up. Ever.
This one, I mean,
I don't care.
But it just hit me. I mean, It was like so in your face, like, hey, look at it. I mean, I've read this before. I've read this verse before, but the fact of, the timing, God's timing of how this, on the anniversary date, we're talking about grace at our Bible study. The very next day, just before we're getting ready to talk in front of the congregation, this is the verse of the day. And I looked at it and said, what how much more weakness can I show than laying dead on a baseball field for God to be able to use his grace to show the power? I mean, you're talking weakness and power in the
so are you saying God, that's what God had to do to get you to that point?
I wouldn't say maybe. Maybe.
So maybe that's your message. Maybe your message should be learn quicker.
Learn quicker. Yes. Learn this through people talking to you rather than through dropping dead. That's my advice to you. It would go a lot easier on you if you would learn some of these lessons by listening to other people who have lived
No,
through
I mean, you were already a Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew that Jesus died for your sins. You knew, you professed Christ as your Lord and Savior.
Mm-hmm.
How has this experience changed your relationship with God?
I mean, it's gone light years farther than it was 7 years ago.
How has it changed your relationship with your wife?
Not enough. I think I still need to work on that.
Okay. I just wondered.
But it has.
Huh.
It has. Always remember continuous improvement.
Is this something from work?
No, but it could be taken that way. If anyone from work is listening, continuous improvement. But no, on yourself, on your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
As good as something could be, there's always improvement,
Yeah.
and always strive to do that.
I mean, I've already touched on this, that I would say I need a haircut. My hair keeps falling on in my eyes. I honestly believe that
oh gosh. As a wise person once said, after hearing what happened to Jeff and how he died and he's now alive, I'm happy for you.
So Josh, how would you in your church, you have someone, what would you be doing that next Sunday?
If someone died from your church on Thursday for about 15 minutes, got saved, going for open heart surgery on Monday, and that person's wife comes to your church on Sunday, and you're singing, in Christ alone. Or any song, but in Christ alone, again, some of those verses are just very, very impactful for that whole situation. Yeah, what would you do, Josh?
Yeah, I am.
I don't think he would just say.
It wasn't the pastor who said that.
No, it wasn't.
No, but
it was not the
they
pastor
actually
or
said nothing.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't hear anything from any of the pastors, did you? Okay.
No, I'm saying
not the church we're going to now. By the way, the
no,
church
but
we're
I'm
going to
saying
now is a different church from back then.
And ironically, the church we're going to now,
And
our pastor and the pastor and Joy and Perry were at High Point. They were at that church.
There were so many weird connections between our old church, this other church, the church we're going to now.
Yeah.
So many.
But
no, we love. I mean, there are so many people.
We loved our last church.
We love so many people at that church. There was a lot of great people there.
Yeah.
And
the thing is, I think the word I think the words were said to me that as one of the guys that was at the baseball field that was running through the church saying,
Craig. I know. See, I still remember names.
Say, have you talked to him recently?
I haven't seen. I saw him. What was it, like about 6 months ago? Maybe.
And I think, I mean, he's running through the church saying, "We saw God raise the dead man." Yeah. Over and over.
Yeah, he was.
He was one of those 10 that, out of those 10, the one that would be running and telling everybody.
He was out there running and telling everybody that he met about it. Yeah. So Josh says that he guessed he would probably throw out the entire sermon portion and devote the time to glorifying God as a community in the midst of what was going on. That's what I sort of would have thought maybe would have happened, but it didn't there. It would have at the church we're going to now for sure. Oh, they would. Yeah. But,
and the thing is,
but again, that's, again, nothing against where we came from, because again, we love so many people from there. But sometimes you just got to just let the Spirit lead you. Why are you looking at me like that?
Did my husband just say that?
I did just say that.
You're talking about the Spirit? You're always like a crazy man.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Oh, that wasp is still over there.
And that's the thing. We use the term interruptible, and I remember.
Isn't there a song that has?
There's
a song. There's a song that says something about being interruptible.
I've used that term for years. My life, I am very interruptible, and our pastor's daughter gave us a sermon on being interruptible. That's I've always lived my life that way. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm probably too interruptible.
Yeah. Well, just like tonight. I mean, okay. Normally do an hour show. We're going on over 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Now, which we do need to wrap it up at some point.
What did Mary say?
Mary said it's powerful to tell people because you don't know who it might who it might touch, and so that's where I keep still going around in circles a little bit, but I know this is part of what I'm here to do. This show is part of it. Speaking in front of groups is part of it. The people I'm actually going to be doing a little speaking thing in a couple of weeks.
Oh, Mary.
Thank you. She's always interrupted when I'm around. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But no, really, do you have a life that is so structured that if God tries to get your attention, or if God puts someone in your path, you don't even recognize that you could be ministering to someone, or that you could be speaking a kind word to someone, because you are so busy with your agenda or what you have planned.
Like I even just the other day, okay, this is a stupid thing, but it's an example. It was an older lady getting out of her car. She was taking a while to get out. I knew she would eventually be coming to the door of the building I had just gone into. And I'm like, okay, I've got my things to do. I could have just kept on going through the door, in the building, and on to what I had to do on my schedule. And I turned around. I didn't even tell you about it, but I turned around and I went back out to the door and opened the door and held it until and it took her a while to get to the door, but I held the door open for her. It's a stupid little thing, but it might have made her day. That might have been the one kind act that anyone did for her that whole day. I don't know, but it could have made a difference. Just always be out there looking for things that could help somebody or make a little bit better day for them.
Or you could ask God to show you who you could minister to, because I believe He'll bring people to us every day if we're out. With the special needs kids, you got to be interrupted.
That's for
they
sure.
help you see things differently.
Oh my goodness! That comes up with this whole WDWpov point of view. we're always always looking at things from a different point of view. That's always looking. Yeah, we definitely know where you're coming from, Mary.
So I guess that's another thing that I think you have. You are a little better about that. You were probably pre-cardiac arrest. You had an agenda, and this is what I need to get done today. And this is, you weren't interruptible.
Probably not.
No.
I was, like you said, I was more Mr. Spock, very logical. Things had to be done in a certain order. I was not very interruptible at all. And again, that may be part of why Jack is in our lives.
Since you don't like reading and therefore won't be writing a book, here's the alternate plan. Heaven is for Real 2, Jeff's Journey, starring Kirk Cameron and Chuck. Okay, so who plays me?
Mary says perfect casting. All right.
Okay, so if someone that you can tag and say, yeah, we could do that. We could write the book together.
Right,
but
let me do this here. Okay, see if I get some plastic surgery, those wrinkles go away. Yeah. See, I gotta look the part. I'll do a cameo like during the show. I could be the EMT. I could be John the EMT. Help me out. That's what they do, don't they? They put the person who's actually, they'll put them in as a cameo. Yeah. I could be one of the EMTs. That would be cool. Kirk Cameron. Yeah.
I want Zachary Levi to play you.
Oh, that would be good too. I know. She has the hots for Zachary Levi, by the way. She does. She won't admit it, but she does.
No, I don't. I view him like a son.
Okay.
I'm old enough to be his mother. I didn't get that far in the casting yet, but I'll talk to my friend Dallas Jenkins from The Chosen about getting the ball rolling. I am so impressed that you know Dallas.
Nice.
Okay.
Let him know. We're on for that.
It works.
We know people in high places.
Oh, we do.
We do.
Yeah. I was going to say,
very high
if
place.
he wants that, if that's part of God's plan, Jack already acted out the entire story of Jaws last Halloween, so he needs to be in at least one scene.
Yes, Jack. What? Kidding about what? Yeah, we're just having fun, joking around.
Mary is finally leaving work, so we are going to be leaving.
Yeah, and we just had a wasp fly in our room here, so.
Okay, so we are going to be leaving.
I got to deal with it. Where'd it go? We're just having fun, joking around.
We're being interrupted.
Yes, we're being interrupted again.
So how do we end this show?
I'll still sing.
Well, I think we should leave them with one more thought.
What's that? We're just having fun, joking around, having a good time.
You don't have a final thought to leave them with, or final challenge? How to go through this week?
How? Go ahead. My final challenge was just talking about God's grace.
Oh,
and
okay.
But again, my final thing was just again reiterating God's grace and also getting rid of that wasp. And
well, I was going to say, there's a wasp on our ceiling. I was going to say that, okay, so 7 years later, I struggle with a lot less of, I don't feel like, oh my goodness, if you said today to someone that if one person was saved, I wouldn't be angry with you saying that. I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay.
This experience was worth it. It was.
Yes.
And we had a pretty.
Oh, geez. See, now that's showing some grace right there, getting some scratch offs for
96-year-old friend.
That is good. No, I mean, but
I do think a lot of what we went through, I have different eyes. I see things differently.
Mhm.
And
So I guess, yeah, I mean, just
but we have a long way to go.
we always have a long way to go.
We do.
And we always have things we can improve.
Yes.
But if you can just make today a little bit better for somebody, tomorrow a little bit better for somebody else, the next day a little bit better for somebody else, just think how much better this world could be. Just a little,
Be
just a
kind to
little
one
thing.
another?
Just a little thing. Doesn't have to be a big thing. Just a little thing. Holding a door open for some old person who needs help out of her car or getting in a building.
Well, and to
or
do
getting
not
scratch offs.
do not take your family for granted.
Right. Do not take, or anyone for that matter, but yeah, especially your family.
Hey, Dad, do not take what?
Don't take your family for granted. We need to finish.
Okay.
So he
So
can
you
get to
can
sleep.
sing.
Like, should we not take them for granted?
That just means to not ignore people. Like when I leave in the morning, if I have to go to work to do something, I try to say goodbye to you and tell you I love you and that kind of stuff. Right? Right. Okay.
Okay, go ahead and sing. Say, okay, so thank you for watching. Next week on the show,
Hey, Dad, who's doing what you want next Monday?
Who's doing
Marcus or Dad and Marcus.
She wants me
and-
to hold the door for her too.
And next week, the week after, we're doing a couple show.
Are we doing a couple
Yes.
shows?
Not
2 weeks from now?
2 weeks from
Okay.
today.
Okay. As I mentioned, this show does take a bit out of at least me, probably you too. A little bit emotionally, but it's a fun show. I'm glad we get to do it every year. And hopefully it's helped somebody out there. Yeah, patience. Yes. Yes. Yes, we do. Yes, we need it.
Ooh.
Oh, now there we go. There we go.
We will have Mary on in 3 weeks.
Absolutely, we will. Thank you. Okay, you ready to finish it up? You good?
I'm not singing.
I'll sing it. So,
Maybe one week I'll sing and then it will go viral because it will be, people will share it for being so bad. Can you believe this woman would open her mouth and sing when her voice is that
I
bad?
sang in front of the church yesterday.
Yeah, but you have a decent voice.
Eh,
It cracked a little because you were
because
crying.
oh, sure. You just told everybody I was crying.
You
How
cried
could you
earlier.
do that to me?
Okay. Oh, Patty can lip sync. Okay.
There we
Okay.
go. Lip sync. Lip sync. Okay. So,
Hey, Dad, do what?
Okay, hurry. We're singing.
we're singing. We're going to come in and we'll say goodnight to
Okay.
you in just a second.
Okay.
Oh, my
Go
God.
ahead.
So, again, thank you very much for
Thank
watching
you.
tonight. 3 hours almost for some of you. I know.
If you're going to keep talking to make it 3 hours.
I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you very much for watching. And
Go ahead, sing.
I'm going to sing. And a 1, and a 2, and now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. You hit that low note pretty good. M-I-C, see you real soon. K-Y. Why?
Because we like you.
M-O-U-S-E.
You should hear happy birthday. Thank you, and we will see you next week.
Did not say happy birthday.
Just end.
Yes, she said happy birthday.
Hey, Dad, do what to you?
Nothing.
Why did she do what to you?
She didn't do anything to me.
Dad, were you kidding about saying that or not?
Not kidding about anything. Good night. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.